Good evening, everyone. Welcome to round 2 of the Simrigs Sprint Series here at Zandvoort for season 19 in the Dutch country of the Netherlands. Split yellow for tonight, followed by split green. I am Cameron Fizzleblade, followed by Blake Griffiths for comms and Glenn Germain on the cameras. As we're just going into qualifying, we're trying to find the gaps. Blake, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. I'm happy to be here through this very tricky little circuit we've got tonight. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm feeling a lot warmer than the tyres are out on there on track. It is 10-10 of ambient and track, so gonna be pressures are gonna be very vital, and dare say everyone's gonna have some blisters, but it's qualifying right now, so you know it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just gonna get the lap in, and everyone's got the same conditions.
Yeah, it will be interesting going into the race, though. We have 2 mandatory stops tonight with a requirement of fuel, not so much tyres, but it will be interesting to see what people decide to do. I believe the fuel time is fixed at 25 seconds, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yep.
and the tyres take 30 seconds to put on, so it's a bit like, is it worth 5 seconds to you? And at Zandvoort, I think it might be. The track is very rough on the tyres, and we have a 60-minute race tonight, so we'll see. These are some talented ladies and gentlemen out there on the track, but it can be a bit rough. We'll see. I'm interested to see how it plays out in terms of if it's worth taking the tyres and making that time up, or if track position is going to be the important factor here.
Absolutely, and yeah. Track position is going to be, spacing is going to be very critical right now. As Mitch Hobbs of the Bissell Sports Lambo goes very wide on the exit there, and dare say might have been validated the lap he was on, as Matthew Lamb sets the benchmark time at a 34.5. I apologize. In the Porsche, really want to watch as well here tonight. But we have seen some stronger form from some of the front engine cars, whereas the Porsche and the Lamborghinis have kind of always been naturally very strong around this circuit, but we'll see what they can produce. I think no one will be surprised to see these two towards the front of the grid.
Yeah, we just saw sorry, I've forgotten their name, but our winner from last week set a 34 something, which is a very, very quick time already off the bat when the track is just at fast, not quite optimum yet. So already throwing the gauntlet down.
Absolutely. Last week's race winner was Matthew Lamb, and obviously leads up the championship, followed by Paul Britt, who's a teammate for Laundry House in the Audi, and then Luke Johnson made up that podium from Watkins in his McLaren. Obviously Mitch Hobbs had a bit of a disastrous race. I believe he ended up not finishing after a strong qualification. Yeah, a little bit rough, but we'll see how we can bounce back here for round 2.
Yeah, I don't believe we have Paul Britt tonight. Yeah, and I think Mitch Hobbs might have disconnected or something for the last race, but I'm excited to see what they can put together. Chat is asking me to pronounce the last corner of the track. Looks like Ari Leende blocked. How was that, riding with Tim?
That's pretty good.
I'm not actually that familiar with Dutch pronunciations, so...
No. Problem is, the only Dutch I really know is from Max Verstappen. He doesn't really swear in Dutch.
I mean, that's the important words, and so you're not really like getting the meat of the language. As Mitch Hobbs says, that's enough. Change the setup, maybe.
Fresh set for sure. Yeah, halfway through the qualification. See Matthew Lamb here. Siving his Porsche through Box 9. That's probably the easiest corner name on this circuit. And into Box 10, followed by the second easiest corner name on this circuit.
I was about to say the corner name just because it was the easy one.
I was gonna say, I think, call me Sherlock, but I think Box means curve or corner in Dutch. It's rallying the last couple of corners into compo box, and I do apologize, we have a lot of fun just our pronunciations, and you can all have a laugh at our expense as well. It's all a lot of fun.
I believe
It's the
Bocht
spirit that
is actually Bend.
Then
So,
you know, it's gonna be something like that.
yeah, I mean you're on track, if you will. Pardon the pun. I'm not actually a big pun person, but when I'm on the bike, it seems to just come out. As we have the number 19 car having a bit of an excursion into the sand, I think, back to the pits, but we're still following along with Matthew Lamb in this Porsche. Heading through Hunserig, and then corner number 5, which doesn't have a name according to my map.
Yeah, it's sort of a series of non-corners, but they are really tricky, especially come lap 1 of the race, as everyone has to try and behave themselves. It is very tricky through that back section, very quick, and dare say anyone going too wide is going to have a really bad time.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's described to me as like a straight with corners kind of thing, but there's a lot of small bumps there that can really catch you out, and you'll get sent into a wall one way or the other, and in the race you'll probably get sent into someone else. So inadvisable to be too wide, but it could happen at least on lap 1 this race. We'll have to wait and see. So we follow along with Benjamin Piper in the Boatley, if you will. Down through Hans Ernst Bocht, coming up to Kuma Bocht. This isn't going to get old. As Matthew Lamb sets the a new fastest, new personal best, 1:34.34.
Yes. Worrying for me, as I could barely do a 35. These guys are already incredibly on it. We shall see.
We can't all be Matthew Lamb.
Yes. See. Stick around tomorrow, Thursday night, for our split blue and split red. And then obviously Friday morning we'll have NA split. Lovely peeps over on election land. Yes, and going to now, obviously, this section of what is so much commitment to leave lack, and then into Master Box as well. The Bentley going well for Benjamin Piper has been really kind of a run of form as well, with the Bentley kind of being in a good place in terms of balance of performance as well. So it is a very strong car. It's not to everyone's liking, but definitely I think we've had the most amount of Bentleys across all 4 splits for a long time, especially if you look at split red, as they are rampant for sure in that category.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was at least one split with like 3 Bentleys, which is kind of wild. But yeah, I think it's one that just speaks to some people, you know, like it's a bit like anchovies or something, but a bit more specific. And we're seeing again a bit of dominance from Matthew Lamb and Mitch Hobbs and Benjamin Piper. They were running at the front in our last race, and they're doing it again. Mitch Hobbs, just 0.3 of a second behind Matthew Lamb, but on equal pace for this lap. See if he can improve down through Hans Ernst Bocht. Bit of curb, nice and tight. Ooh, it's good for him, up 0.2. Coming down to Kuma Bocht. Yeah, using all that curb, getting the car turned in, and using every single inch of the track, maybe mowing those blades of grass, but he's lost a bit of time. It's only going to be 0.05 of a second improvement, which isn't going to be enough to put him on pole.
Yep, he's going to have one more lap to try and improve his standing. And shout out to some drivers out there like Dylan McDowell, Tony Spencer, and Wesley Yao there in P5, 6, and 7. You may not have might have a bit of reduced numbers here for Zandvoort. It's not to everyone's favorite. People also might have commitments and crazy psychedelic, almost CS:GO hyperbeast delivery of Tony Spencer. Going very well in the McLaren. did see a few McLarens have been pretty strong in the practice servers, with people doing very quick times. May not also eat just the car. Like, if you nail Zandvoort, then you really kind of really got it all and sorted. So Tony Spence is going to improve by 2 tenths, give or take, and going to displace Dylan McDowd in the Porsche. Inside Dylan, Piper, and Wesley Yao are all parked up already. As Luke Johnson gets a little bit of a slide on exit and compromised his run to the line, but he's still going to improve by 2 tenths, although it could have been maybe 2.5, 3. But he's going to go up into P3, where we kind of saw him finish last week in Watkins Glen in the Castrol McLaren.
Mitch Hobbs coming down the straight, improving by 0.2 of a second. It's not going to be quite enough for P1 yet again, but I mean, it's always good to improve on your time.
Yeah, it's going to feel a lot better being that much closer to Lamb than he would be going into the race with 3 tenths behind. So Jeremy Zeri in the Mustang, first Mustang we've seen so far, and going thundering to the line with 4.5 tenths up, should be putting up pretty well. Yep, straight up to P5 as for Zeri there. 2 cars getting a little bit closer comfort up there, and
yeah,
watch out.
Oh yeah, it's a bit spicy for the end.
Yes, and looks like Kafil Slade there down in P13. It's not what we usually expect to see the Ferrari driver. Really struggling out there, and the lap is already over, I believe. I'm pretty certain. So that's where he will finish, if not lower, if anyone displaces him, as King goes up into P16 in the Aston Martin. Followed by Spence, who closes out in P6 as well, after being displaced from Zeri. Nothing to be disappointed about, for sure. So that makes it grid. Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say having some mild difficulties, but it looks like our last runner might have ran afoul of the white line. So this is our starting order, if you want to take us through, Cam.
Yep, we'll run through the top 10. So it's obviously Matthew Lamb, followed by Mitch Hobbs and Luke Johnson for our top 3, with Benjamin Piper leading up silver class in the Bentley, Jeremy Seven in the Ford Mustang for silver, Spence, Dylan McDowd, Wesley Yao, and Price Davis from P6B9, followed by Harold Kumar in the Ferrari 296 for P10. So, yeah, bit of seeing a few drivers that we normally expect a bit higher up the grid not perform as well as a few that overqualified a bit higher than their normal form. So well done to everyone who's been out there doing practice and preparing for this event. It is, Zandvoort's an incredibly tricky track to, especially just to get a whole lap together. It's very easy to bleed time here. You really have to have no errors, not to state the obvious too much there.
Yeah, it feels like one from personal experience where you're not really catching a break. You're hooking it together constantly. It's corner to corner because there is such a lack of straights. It's really just relentless in terms of the corners, or the box, if you will.
Absolutely, and qualifying is extra critical around here because it has been proven to be a difficult track to get passes done. A very short front straight, and pretty much no back straight really to get a move done too well. The only real overtaking opportunities between turn 10 and turn 11 if you get a incredibly good run, and dare say if you're the car behind with some good acceleration like a Nissan GTR, it is very hard to kind of force a overtake coming out of that corner.
Yeah, I think you can get a move done into turn 1 if you get your positioning just right and force the issue. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this track. So I think track position is going to be really, really important here. As I was alluding to a bit earlier in terms of taking tires versus just running the one set for these 2 mandatory stops. I think it'll be very, very interesting to see what everyone's going to do tonight, and I look forward to it. Absolutely. Bit of a skill issue for Rondinella all the way at the back of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems to be taking this season as doing a back at the grid start like he did at Watkins, and see how he can come through the field. He's gonna have a harder time than Watkins, that's for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if most people take one set of brand new tires at the halfway mark and then just do a regulation stop wherever else in the race. But it is 11 ambient, 11 track, so those pressures, and you're gonna have to really do a good job at keeping those tires in the window. And that'll be reason enough for, I think, people to take tires, as well as also Zandvoort is pretty rough on them, to say the least. But we're going out for our formation lap now. Said Matthew Lamb leads him off, followed by Mitch Hobbs and Luke Johnson. Very short run down to turn 1 from green flag, and it'll be it'll be 2 by 2. We'll see if anyone can have a sniff and anyone can make it work. If there's room given, you can go around the outside, but you do need cooperation from the car on the inside.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Mitch Hobbs actually starting on the inside line?
No, I think the leader starts on the inside.
Okay, so that's going to be a lot of work for Mitch Hobbs to get something done there. It should be pretty safe for Matthew Lamb into T1 as long as nothing goes too awry.
I'm not actually certain. I think the leader does start on the inside line. It would be pretty rough otherwise.
Getting confirmation from the little birds that sing to me that yes, first position does have the inside line. But yeah, we just saw Edward Fikori starting from the pits. Usually means they did not hit drive, which is an interesting choice to say the least.
Indeed, yeah. Unfortunately, he's going to lose his P11 qualification, and the cars will have to move up one slot on the right side of the grid. So unfortunately, I hope everyone gets that across, and no confusion on that one. Short formation lap, short track in general. So we're already going to be going shortly double file very soon. Race director. And the chat is doing its best job to try and curse split yellow straight out the bat. Zeri trying to do the best to keep his tyres warmed up, but it shouldn't really be allowed, since double file is no one-way brakes, no one-way tyres after that. Might get away with that one. They want double file, close the gaps up, hold 80 all the way to the line. Lamb on the inside. Everyone's going to be a lot of effort for Hobbsy to try and go around the outside, but they do start alongside each other. Race start initialized. We'll have green flags shortly going very soon, and it's a good jump from both leaders, and Zeri gets a jump on the Bentley and the McLaren after a slow reaction from both, and it's going to take P3 at this rate, but breaks early to try and make the corner, and has to slot in behind the McLaren and the Bentley. Subsequently now an attack from P4 Bentley as Hobbsy tries around the outside. He's going to go side by side into turn 2, but surely going to lose out as Lamb retains the lead for the hairpin.
Johnson looking around the outside but not committing to the move. I think they need to come in single file, otherwise it's going to be a little bit tricky through this air quotes straight.
Absolutely. McDowell looking all over the back of the Mustang, but he's going to have a real hard job the whole race trying to get past that thing. Going now into turn 7, and it's been a pretty good field from the gap. It looks like car 27 is the only one to come across us so far. Pretty bad spot as well, so no small accident there for Hayden Marsh. But the rest of the field piles on through. There's no safety car for this one, but the lap's not over. Mitch Hobbs retains P2, so it's pretty much as standing. It's only Zeri who's actually lost the place to Spence as a result of his attack on P3. It looks like he had the run, but had to kind of brake early to make sure he made the corner and didn't take out the 2 on the outside. So heads up driver for the Mustang driver. Opportunist, but heads up.
Yeah, I wonder if he could have got the move done if he was a bit more aggressive, but at some point I think it's just worth just holding your horses, or your Mustangs, if you will, and just keeping it clean, especially in T1. You know, there's going to be more opportunities. It's an hour-long race.
Like, I'm not a pun person, Griffin. The second pun so far.
But also this Mustang
so
is just, yeah, just...
Whoa. Braking very late, much later than Tony Spence, and unfortunately give him a touch around, and going to give him a half spin, and looks like he is going to wait. They're going to lose a position to Dylan McDowell. And looks like Price Davis, but cuts across him as well. And unfortunately, Price Davis is going to find the wall as a result. Oh dear, oh dear. It's all gone redressing, and yeah, oh dear, oh dear.
It's all gone box-shaped, if you will.
Yeah, indeed.
Is that a pun?
I'm not too sure on that one. No, you don't get that one.
Okay, fair enough. As we follow on with Spence, I mean, what was that? A bit of a sympathy tap. Zeri touched the back, and then... Oh.
Yeah, it was a little bit... It had the run, but yeah, unfortunately kind of just went into the back of the McLaren a bit too much. Needed to lift a little bit. And unfortunately, I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch what Price Davis did, but it looks like the two came across at turn 2. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure Price Davis is going to have some serious damage because he did find the wall really badly after that contact.
We're now holding P10 in this race as we follow on with Liam K. Yes, Liam K. Both going a bit wide. Very wide for Price Davies.
Oh, no, great move around the outside. Can he make it work? They're both going to go side by side. Surely it's going to be hard to keep this one around the outside from Liam K. And might lose a position now to Chris Darf in the green Ferrari. Yeah, a little bit ragged there from Price Davis, which puts Liam K on the outside line. He's going to retain his position so far. So no win, no loss for the Porsche driver.
Moving to cover the inside there, smart driving against Darf.
Yeah.
Is Price? Is he? I mean, is he struggling with some damage? Do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll have damage, but I think he will probably just be either also maybe a little bit just out of his rhythm. Also, having had that contact, it might be. There's if he feels like it's not really his fault. He might be a little bit perturbed as a result. But yeah, he's really starting to struggle. He's really just not driving with the car underneath him, whether that's damage or whether it's just playing on him mentally. As you always see the big gap that's kind of formed as Liam K really wants to get past because he can see the amount of time they've lost. He sends it up the inside of turn 10. Turn 8, and going to have another go into actual 10, sorry. It was turn 9. They all look the same on the track now. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get past the McLaren so far. Looks like the taking this low the curb and already a bit of a train starting to form. We see Spencer Kidman and Kong joining on the end of this fight. Matthew Lamb retains the lead and does a 34.6. Pretty much rounded up to his 7 as looks like Price Davis is going to go into the pits. Very tricky pit entry, I will say here. Probably everyone's done their practice for that one, but definitely going to have to repair some damage. And maybe, was the contact there between Kidman and Spenceley? I'm not sure what that's all about. Hope we can see a replay on that one if possible. But, bit of a shove onto the gravel there. Not too certain what that's all about, but surely another one for the stewards, right?
Yeah, busy start for them. I don't know, does Kidman send it up the inside a bit? But anyway, we're seeing Price Davies come in. Obviously it had some damage, but a bit of a release of the cork of the bottle, if you will. It's starting to form a train a little bit behind, and now everyone's free to get going. But a pretty significant gap has formed. About 4 seconds at least between the 1 to 9 and then 10 to the rest pretty much.
Yeah, Price there is kind of unfortunately being the reason for why that kind of gap has formed, but we'll see how those guys can react and maybe close up on the field. So everyone's starting to find the pace a little bit. 7 minutes into this session. Got a couple of first stoppers already. Looks like Spence has had a moment and lost a position to Kafil Slade, who's had a great start so far. Qualified well out top 10, but has already made his way up P7, so a magnificent start from a motorsports driver. See Zeri into the pits there as well at the back. But not a bad shout, because I think with most of the pit being close to getting it right now, you can actually find some decent free air right at this time as well. So we're going to clear most of the traffic. Whether he is going to just take tyres or he's going to maybe just do the fuel stop right now, get it out of the way. So I was going to say it's a little bit early to do tyres, but
Yeah.
he may have the wrong pressures, which might be the reason for why he's coming so early. See what happened now. Kidman, a little touch already, and then they come together again as well. There's a little bit unnecessary from all of them, but I feel like that's the Mustang was coming over a little bit on the first contact, and then they kind of just drew together in the second contact.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Initial contact, I think it's definitely on Kidman, but I don't know. It's a little bit odd. Like, would imagine that.
It's those magnets we put in the car.
Yeah, big magnet.
The content magnets.
Little do they know I put magnets in all of their cars before the race, so we'd have something to talk about. So we follow along with the number 420 car or Spence. We've also seen Matthew Lamb do almost consecutive fastest laps, so as I said before, the gauntlet has been thrown and is being continued to be thrown.
Yeah, it's gone 1/10 quicker. But yeah, I was going to say Matthew Lamb doing Matthew Lamb things to say the least, isn't it, really? But going very quickly, but Mitch Hobbs has something to say about it, and it's close enough so any error is going to he's going to benefit from Matthew Lamb, and we're interested to see what these two do in terms of strategy. I've heard if you're good enough and you're basically if you're pro enough, you probably do this whole race on one set of tires, and track position is arguably stronger than pace around this track as well. So if both of these guys just do a fuel stop, whichever one's at the front, even if the one behind has taken tires and is quicker, it could be the winning strategy, but we shall see. Classified is pro, but I've definitely not got pro strategy in my book, so no one listens to me, frankly.
Oh, I've definitely got the pro strats despite being an academy driver, so they should definitely not take tires. That's my opinion. No, I do actually think it could be wise to not take tires. I do think the track position is going to be really, really critical, and if they have the skill to keep it on the track, then yeah, I think that would be best. As we have our first penalties coming through, Darrell Lim, 10-second penalty, collision on lap 1.
Yeah, potentially might be what was for the collision with Marsh. That was on the back straight. We got a 27 kill on lap 1, and a 5-second penalty for car 19 as well. That's right, that is.
Yeah.
It's 2 sets of 5-second penalties. That's how the stewards do it. And yes, and Ibrahim Bank, 2-second penalty as well, on lap 1. So a few lap 1s that were happening back there in the paint, so hopefully everyone kind of learns their lesson a little bit. Not too surprising with Zandvoort. There's always something to go wrong, frankly, around this track.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it. It's going to be tricky if anyone was too wide through pretty much any of this track on lap 1, especially with the tyres not all the way up there. I think we got off relatively well, though, with only a handful of incidents. Frankly, I think the Kidman incident was probably a bit more strange, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, you can definitely see bigger incidents at Zandvoort as well. Shout out to a battle here between Tim Nash and Lee. Ferrari versus Porsche. Nice to see one of the OES drivers again. My team out there in an OOR race. Some of the orange colours. Sort of lovely, the kind of dark blue and red. I feel like we've seen a few cars out there. I'm not sure if they're all part of the same team, but a few blue and red cars out there. That's a bit wide from Team Nash there. I think that's one of the few places you can get a track limit, so you have to. Yeah, but even to follow suit to one up him as Lee goes even wider on the penultimate corner and is going to pay even more for it, because it's a big back straight as well to lose lots of more time.
Yeah, a bit of a sympathy off there from Lee. I don't know if he was thrown off a bit there, but yeah, you're going to lose heaps of time. You need to keep the pedal to you need to be full throttle through the last corner. There's no reason to be lifting and you're just losing so much time if you make a mistake through that corner.
Whoa, we see Atiaki all over the back of Ibrahim Bank here in the Aston Martin, looking for a gap here, there, and everywhere, and hopefully he doesn't force one. But to try and get around the McLaren cleanly, but be a big ass as well. It's also not going to take things too far because he knows he will get ahead of the McLaren eventually with his 15-second penalty. Let's see how he goes about, drop back a little bit where the McLaren is going through these lovely set of corners, I will say. I imagine it's not too great for the McLaren, but very wide on that corner and a bad exit as well. So did well to draw the gap there, but it's closed down instantly, and I don't think there was a touch there. I think the McLaren got spooked there by the Aston Martin, has gone wide at turn 10, and subsequently I think it's been cleared by the Aston Martin going down into turn 11 and 12. Does a good job to get things pulled up there. Going to have the 27 of Marsh and Zeri right behind him. So Zeri is in some traffic here, having done an early stop. Sorry, no, that's not Zeri behind him. Ignore me. Is at 4th position. There's behind the 27 4th position, but I'm not sure where that Porsche filters in through the grand scheme of things already, as the McLaren of Bank loses the position to the Ferrari as the Ferrari comes in the pits anyway.
Yeah, I've got no idea who that green Porsche is.
It's hands higher. He snuck onto the track illegally. Yes, and the black and green Porsche. No idea who
is
that
it?
Is, I will say.
Burn in the 101.
Potentially, I think they did do an early stop, which might be why they're out of position. I did recall the 101 in the stops. Let's see how they march there. The Taco Sport Ferrari getting his stop done.
Lovely Borderlands livery that's not glitched out this week. Just wanted to shout it out. It's a really nice livery. As we follow along with Ibrahim Bank in the 786 McLaren, I believe Ibrahim came up from Academy as well for this season. So a bit of a ex-Academy battle happening between Atanayake and Bank. I'm hoping for a good result for Atanayake. It was a bit of a heartbreaker last time out for both him and Ivan Lee. They drove a really, really good race, but I believe collisions ended it a bit early for them.
It's rough. Great to see some, as I said, Academy drivers promoting up to sprints. Can be a little bit scary and a little bit intimidating at first, but a lot of people will find their feet here, and we're all here to kind of learn and race to our fullest potentials. No one starts out perfect, that's for sure. See Rondinella here in P21 behind the 20th of King as well, but running a skillish racing is really on the nose with his livery and naming. As a result, he named it, not us. It's kind of hard to comment on otherwise, and gets a little bit squirrely on the exit in the McLaren.
Rondinellas made up quite a few positions actually, because he was starting at, I think, actually the last position on the grid, so that's nice to see. These McLarens are looking a little bit squirrely here at Zandvoort. Just a lot of oversteer on corner exit.
Yeah, I took the McLaren last season, and it's very quick. You kind of got to get the turbos spooled all the time, and they do spool very quickly. But you kind of have to almost like power slide out of every corner because you need the turbos to kind of make the time, as well as a whole bunch of other factors to the McLaren, but hence why you see them tend to get very taily on exit. But yes, going well so far. The McLaren, there's a car come out just ahead of these two. Not too sure if it is a 4th position or not.
I believe it was Ivan Lee actually, and it was for position. So we got a bunch of people already taking a pit stop pretty early.
Yeah, everyone from Zeri down has done a stop, including Harold Kamar. That we have to see where they fall out in relative schemes. And I think, Ibrahim is the last driver to not clear up. And we see, Spence, Piper, and Chris Duff all coming to the box as well right now. Outback Bled, the relative of 4th position. So, ranking right ahead of him in the Aston Martin, getting really close. but it is going to be so tricky to pass here. He is closer, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to send it from this far back into the chicane here. And it is quite a short braking zone, relatively speaking, so it's not easy to do. Through the final corner, and yeah, a little bit squirrely. And the Aston Martin's gotten, there's no shortage of horsepower coming down the straight as well, but goes a little bit wide. I'm not too certain. It's, yes, going to be a bad run from the Aston, and the McLaren is going to draw alongside and have the inside line for the turn one, and surely going to get it done around here. But the Aston carries a little bit more speed into the corner, a little bit meeker from... oh no, as he gets a swapper, and he unfortunately collides with the Aston, and they both find a wall, but the Aston keeps going. And he's going to have to wait as the leaders are coming through right now. There is a gap, but he's still going to have to wait as well as Luke Johnson and the 27 of Hayden Marsh come through. Now he can go. And that was really rough for Jaden.
Yeah, just terrible there. Really, really paid the price for that, having to wait for everyone to go by. But I mean, good stuff. We don't want to see unsafe rejoin. But
yeah, it looked like he throttled up early and then kind of had to catch the slide. And yeah, I'm not too sure whether it was the Aston Martin coming down or whether he was kind of went into the Aston Martin. We'll leave that one to the stewards, but he's definitely got enough worse, and the worse of the damage and worse of the time has lost as well. And I imagine both of those cars will probably be boxing very shortly. They've already done one of their stops, so that's kind of disastrous, actually. They'll have to go for the rest of the 40 minutes without doing another stop so far. But a lot of front damage on that McLaren.
So we have Price Davies with King all over the back, just less than a second. 396 McLaren touching a little bit of that sand. It's not really what you want to do on the last corner. You're going to compromise your exit speed. And yeah, not really getting wide enough there.
Yep, so it's turned from a battle between Rondinella and Ryan King. Sorry, I'm not sure if his name is Ryan, but King, and he's got Bryce Davis now to chase down. It goes very wide, and he's got the leader, so hopefully lets him go now. Oh, kind of awkward, but he does get offline and lets the Porsche through at the very least. And then we'll have to let through the Lamborghini of Mitch Hobbs, who the gap has not strained from. Not too ideal. I think Mitch Hobbs was not sure what was going to happen there. Might have been a little bit spooked, but hasn't really lost too much time there. It is a kind of hard place to get out of. Get out of the way at the last minute for the blue flag cars. It's kind of why you got to keep things on your toes and do it, and use your best judgment and try to be predictable as much as you can. As there's a car off. Oh, was Price Davis. I'm not sure if he caught the leader there at all, but has lost time for Matthew Lamb there. Not too sure what was happening there at all, but we saw the Price Davis with the McLaren going off, and I think, yeah, Lamb had to take evasive action, or was a little bit of contact as well. It's definitely lost time to Mitch Hobbs.
These two still inseparable, which I like to see. Matthew Lamb ran away with it last time. I think ended up with a 20-second gap, I believe. So glad to see Mitch Hobbs sticking to the back. Not going to make it easy for him.
Trying to see if that Porsche has damage right now, because yeah, he definitely came together very close with Price Davis there. You can imagine Price Davis was just having his own moment, and then the leader came on song, and you see the gap has definitely closed down from. It was already close, but it's much closer now.
Yeah, I think at the very least, Lambs had to avoid whatever was going on with Price Davies, but hopefully, a bit squirrely.
Try and find out what happened with that one. Really appreciate everyone standing by. These two, we've gone 20 minutes so far. As long as them and the top six have still yet to do their stops. With that said, Slade and Yao are now boxing, so these guys will be the last of the stoppers at this rate. You know, I think the said, like, if you can live with it and kind of do the least mistakes, it's kind of the strategy to, you know, only box when you need to, frankly. And with the fixed fueling time, they're gonna the tires are really gonna cool down a lot in these cold temps if they don't take tires as a result. So the outlaps will be very interesting to say the least. We've got a replay here. Thank you very much, Glenn. As Matthew Lamb is going through the corner, and yes, Price Davis has gone left, gone right, and found the wall, comes back across, but thankfully doesn't find the Porsche and just has to take avoiding action. Does Matthew Lamb? It did compromise his entry into the next corner, but thankfully no damage and no real harm lost, just time lost to Mitch Hobbs there. It could have been a lot worse, frankly, as I found out earlier this week with Jeremy Conboy. Not Jeremy Conboy, Jamie Conboy.
Disrespect on the name, as we have Mitch Hobbs
He
coming
disrespected
in.
my Bentley.
But yeah, glad to see Matthew Lamb getting away from that one unscathed. But Price Davies, it's very, very significant damage there. We also have Johnson in back there, and I think Price Davies was just going in.
Mitch Hobbs does his stop now. Yeah, I was going to say that I reckon the outlap's going to be very rough as they get their tyres back up into the working window in terms of pressures and temps. And it'll be kind of interesting. I think the overcut will probably work in this regards. I can't imagine they'll take tyres, surely, unless Mitch feels like... I mean, Mitch has more liberty to do what his strategy than he needs to. But that said, though, I don't think he was far enough ahead of Luke Johnson to clear him by 5 seconds. So you'll have to keep that in mind as well, as Luke has been keeping close relatively to the leaders as quick as they have been. Credits where credit's due. Matthew Lamb might come in now because he's got these 2-lap cars right in front of him. It's not ideal. He's going to lose time, surely, if they don't get out of the way soon. Looks like the Porsche is trying to get out of the way a little bit on the entry line, so we'll compromise entry for Lamb there. As Lim tried to do his... Lee, sorry, tried to get out of the way. And Tim Nash there is trying to... Oh, I thought he was going into the pits. I think he was just going offline. And late braking there from Matthew Lamb gets it stopped. Comes into the pits as well as a result. So it'll be interesting to see where Hobbsy comes out relative to this car. He's already going now into turn 9 just of now. 25-second stop plus the transit time. So got to be at least 45-50 seconds for the overall pit stop for Matthew Lamb.
Got the number 19 car off the track briefly.
Yeah. Hopefully that's 19 and not 119, because that would be our P3 position of Luke Johnson.
It wouldn't have been. It was on, yeah, I think it was on the other side of the track. There's Johnson back there, so not Johnson.
Yeah, I was going to say, Johnson's been, definitely sticking close enough with this too that I don't think Hobbsy could take tyres, otherwise it will fall behind Johnson. So Porsche's already going and already at the exit of the pit lane as the Lamborghini is coming down the straight now, so definitely not going to get ahead of the Porsche, but we'll see how Lamb's got to fire those tyres up ASAP, and Mitch will have a little bit more temp and a little bit more pressure, but there's a big gap formed, that said, relatively speaking, and whether it's just the outlap, we'll see how it closes up over the next lap. I'm not too certain. I don't think either of them are taking tyres, if I was to have it a guess. But interesting to see how it goes.
I need to see this sector update, the split update with the sector, sorry. Yeah, I would say no tyres for either of them then, with the 3.5 second gap.
I think the gap is also just relative to potentially the outlap that Mitch Hobbs has had to do from his stop. He would have been at a slower pace right now. But definitely some overall time loss. It might have been, maybe didn't hit the marks too much on the pit board, but we see Benjamin Piper now right all over the back of Dylan McDowell for P5 and P6. Credit to these two. We kind of looked at the leads a lot, but there is a big fight here between Slade, McDowell, Piper, and Spencer. We're all really close together, and I think that's, Zeri on the back of him as well. So despite his earlier pit stop, he is still in the fight. That's P4 all the way to P8 there in one camera shot.
Jeez, Piper just not giving an inch here to McDowell.
That's going to be worrying for McDowell because the Bentley does have the poke down the straight to maybe get a run down to turn 1. A little bit wider for McDowell, and he kind of knows it, so he's already going defensive already. Piper has to go to the outside, and they're going to draw alongside into turn 1. It's generally not favoured the outside car too well, and he does fall into that. But there's a switchback as well. Porsche goes very wide. The Bentley's up the inside, but it's going to fall down a little bit. He keeps the nose up the inside. There's contact between the two, and the Porsche's going to find the grass as well and rejoin just ahead of Spenceley. And Spenceley might get ahead as a result of this as well. He's going to go side by side through the danger zone, and there's contact again on the exit of Logan Sargent corner. And going now all the way through the back straight into sector 2. Oh my goodness!
Zeric wants to look too.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
right in the back as well.
Very, very rough for McDowell. I mean, it was hard racing, but that bump just left him very worse for wear. Someone's taken a lot of grass there. Spence.
Indeed. Oh, Slade is already on the threat from Zip Piper as well, so maybe that was Slade going up ahead. And Benjamin Piper already staking his claim. He wants to be best of the rest behind the podium places, and the best of silver. He was willing to fight for it. He kept his nose up the inside of turn 2. Yeah, I think quite hard racing. I'll have to, if it went to the stewards, we'll leave it to their discretion. They've got the angles. We only saw the wide angle. Mitch Hobbs with the fastest lap at 34.3. That's way quicker than the last. That's 2/10 quicker, I think, from the last fastest lap. So that's very impressive. Qual Motorsports Ferrari is going to be under pressure here of Slade as Benjamin Piper. We're going to do it again. Benjamin Piper goes to the outside again. Can he get the crisscross? Does the Ferrari go too deep? It is very bumpy and very shallow on the entry, hence why they go wide. We've got to do the crisscross again as it goes wide, and we only have a stake claim from the Bentley. He is going to be well ahead. He's going to clear him into turn 2. Great driving from Benjamin Piper there. Deja vu straight again as Slade grounds out on the curbing, and it's going to be on the threat now from Spenceley as well. Sorry, Spencer, I apologise, but cracking racing.
Yeah, just fantastic move from Piper there. Getting the switchback done again, which I wasn't really expecting, but Slade going a little bit deep. Ooh, Spence, a bit too much curb there, but yeah, and that was how we wanted to see that move happen the first time without that contact. So just great racing all around. A lot of respect for your other drivers there through that tricky section. Spence
with a 15-second penalty for collision on lap 2. As then McDowell now sends it up the inside into turn 9, and he's going to go side by side into turn 10, but the Porsche is going to have to wait. And 15 seconds for Spence. Oh, he was having such a great race, but unfortunately he's come a cropper over a penalty from quite early on in the race. It's going to really take him out of this whole fight, unfortunately. He's going to have to serve that at the next stop. There's still one stop left to do, so oh dear, oh dear.
Mitch Hobbs with another fastest lap, just dominant right now. It has fallen a little bit behind Matthew Lamb though, 2.5. Although I guess that's making up time from the pit stop, but I expected them to be closer at this point.
Maybe Hobbs and Johnson did take tyres. I'm not too certain. Like, not to say that Hobbsy can't do a fastest lap, but the fact is they're going 2 turns quicker again. Like, it might be indicative of maybe some fresh tyre or just a heat cycle. Could be on both fronts, probably. But oh dear, it's Jaden Rondell. 10-second penalty for a collision on lap 11. I think that's what we saw, unfortunately, on the exit of turn 1. So Rondinella, unfortunately, is in P19, but will inherit a 10-second penalty. It's almost like these incidents happen when you start from the back and don't take it seriously.
Ooh, a bit of venom in that one.
I don't really have a lot of empathy for people who start at the back and get caught up in incidents, I should say. If you get caught up in incidents and you start at the back, you kind of made your own bet, frankly. Unfortunately, it might ruin someone else's.
McDowell had a look up the inside there of turn 9, box 9 if you will, but not quite able to get the move done.
Yeah, kind of needs to be patient and not do anything too drastic. He knows that Spence will lose this position. Granted, he's probably annoyed that he's losing time. Maybe, like, as I said, it was hard racing, but when you're on the receiving end of it, you might think it's over the limit with the being on the receiving end. When the Bentley got past, might be, you kind of just got to shake that stuff off and not let it dictate the way you drive too much. Spence is going to have a good run here at the Ferrari. Bad run from Slade on the exit, but nothing that the McLaren can do right now.
Yeah, I think you just have to just clear it from your mind and just keep racing your race. Otherwise, you'd just make a move too hasty and end up worse for wear, really. Yeah, see, going a bit deep through turn 3. Hugen halts box as we come down the straight but not straight.
Yep, we've got a lap car up ahead as well. Oh, trying to get out of the way in the scariest of places. I'm not sure if that was good or bad. But it was better. I don't know. It was before this sequence of corners, so it might have been better. I'm not too sure. It would have spooked a couple of drivers, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's really a lot of great places to let cars through here.
100%.
But that is a pretty scary place over that crest for sure.
It's a little bit squirrely on the exit, but fortunately nobody's close enough to capitalise. The Slade does look like he's struggling, but they're all kind of making mistakes here and there. He's getting stopped into the chicane, left and the long right-hand hairpin. And the two penultimate corners, the ones that are quite decisive. We'll see how the exit is for Slade come the last corner, because that's where you kind of came a proper last lap around. Looks good so far. Keeps it tight, and the
McDowell very wide.
As looks like Zeri is coming in for his last mandatory stop.
Yeah, looking like he didn't lose that much time from that very wide excursion to the grass.
Yeah, it's like it's okay if you're actually still managing to carry your speed. If it's more so if you're kind of having to lift off and then you're going wide onto the grass, that's what you kind of really do. But yeah, doing okay so far, and also if you're the one with the cars ahead of you and behind you, you're not really losing out too much. And you're getting a lot of inside curve there.
Yeah.
Do that too often.
No, way more curve than you really want. But I think McDowell maybe a little bit impatient. I'm seeing him go a little bit wide in a few of these corners, missing the apexes, but he's hanging in there.
Spence not letting Mr. Slade go too far. And, definitely not letting the penalty kind of take him down. It has been a good performance there from Spence and McLaren. I do like his livery also. It doesn't look like the CSGO Hyper Race. It's gone very wide into the hairpin, and fortunately for the Porsche, there's nowhere really to go as a result. And gonna lose some time though for Slade. See how they go. A little bit wide there from McLaren as well, but I'm not sure if the Porsche is really going to have anything to, even if it gets a bad exit in the last corner, can't do much about it. And Slade, I think, got a bad exit again and has to defend, even though he was so far ahead. And Spence is going to have a look, but nothing really can be done. I was going to say, like, when Benjamin Piper kind of forced those cars to the had the cars on the inside, you think they would have the corner set, but when you brake on the inside into going into turn 1, it's definitely a lot more bumpy, and it really can't get the cars stopped as much, which is hence why they're not too surprising. Two cars went wide for Benjamin Piper, and he was managed to get the crisscross.
Yeah, we're just seeing with these guys, it's like someone will kind of catch up, and then they'll just make a small mistake that brings them just a little bit back, and then like the middle car will catch up to Slade, and then they make a mistake and fall just a little bit back into the clutches of McDowell, and it's just a never-ending cycle here. Glenn's decided we've had enough of that battle pack. The cycle will go on off the camera as we follow along with Kumar in the number 27 Borderlands Ferrari Taco Sport, as Lim behind takes a bit much grass on the entry there.
Yeah, it's a nice delivery on that Porsche. This is actually harsh to run in the P15.
Oh, sorry, that was Marsh.
Yep, that was Marsh. And that one isn't more delivery. I mean, it's Wreck Crest inspired. You can see it's got like rust pattern on white paintwork. Is a livery, and it's kind of matching the same as Zeri in terms of strategy. He kind of seems to doing the early stops. We've seen some very strong pace out of Harsh Kumar here and there as Spence and Dylan McDowell come into the stop, as well as Benjamin Piper is also boxing up ahead as well in the Bentley. See who nails their stops so far.
I told you they're inseparable. They're even pitting together.
Yeah, pretty much nearly on the final third of the race. The final sprint. It's a very cool track out there. Yeah, it's definitely intriguing to see who have taken tyres and who haven't. Kind of wish we had a ACC had a UI widget. Unfortunately, the developers like to don't really want to kind of improve it. I'm gonna stop what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would love to see a tire widget. That would be good because we're just doing a bit of guessing, really. But I actually have a feeling that next to no one's taking tires. As Matthew Lamb reclaims that fastest lap, as we watch. I do not remember who that green car is. It was 101. Jared Byrne, I believe. Going a bit wide there. Ooh, a bit twitchy on those cold tyres for Spence, letting through Mitch Hobbs. Our leaders still actually need to come into pits, top 7.
Yeah, it looks like Mitch Hobbs has still got a bit of a gap to Matthew Lamb right now, so hasn't really closed up.
Top 7 is a bit misleading because there's definitely a few people that are up there due to not pitting still, but definitely our top 3. As Kavil Slade's in the pits now as well.
Yeah, a few lap cars here for Matthew Lamb to negotiate. One of them is the P12 McDowell, who is definitely in that top 7 or around thereabouts. Is actually stuck behind the McLaren there of Ibrahim, I believe. Yeah, sure it will get out the way come this straight, but it is compromising it. I'm not sure where's McDowell. So Daryl did obviously get ahead of Spence because of the penalty that Spence had to perform. So that's why we're not even seeing Spence. There he is, all the way at the back. So he's somehow surprisingly still on the same straight despite a 15-second penalty. It's a good form showing that for Spence. And see where Dylan will come out relative to things. He is actually behind Harsh Kumar for position. So he means he's also lost out to Zeri as well, as Slade has come out ahead of Zeri. So I'm not sure. Maybe Dylan McDowell, given the gap that he had to Slade, has actually taken tyres at the last stop. Because it is about 5 seconds between him and Slade. Benjamin Piper, 10-second penalty for collision on lap 16. That's going to take him well out of the fight. He was, I think, our net P4.
Yeah, interesting. I was waiting to see what was going to happen with that. Because as you sort of said, for us, it looked a bit touch and go. But stewards have made that call there. Nash has a stop and go 30 as well. Did not see that.
Oh dear. That'll be for speeding, unfortunately, in the pit lane. It's set by the game by default. It's not from the stewards.
I do think McDowell took tyres. This car looks racing. It looks planted right now.
Yep. It's quite late into the race to take tyres, we'll say. We're only 23 minutes left when he came in. But maybe a final short dash, and he knows the car underneath him. And if he feels that he can't do it, you kind of just got to bite that bullet. Right there, wrongly. As Zeri here on the back of Slade as they're flying down the straight. And nothing be able to done into turn 1 so far, but I think Slade, if it was the case, then he needs to fix up those last couple of corner runs, because it seems to be that's where he's under threat pretty much from every other car.
Yeah, Zeri having a look around the outside there, but not quite enough pace to get it done. But if he keeps up like this on the wing of Slade, the opportunity might come again next time around. Patience is a virtue, as they say. Oh. Very, very close. Oh, they're into Tanayake with a drive-through for a collision. I don't think we saw that on stream.
Yeah, not too certain on that one. And Benjamin Piper, I'm not too sure if that gap is relative right now. We'll have to wait until they come through the next set of sector lines. But he does actually have 10 seconds to Slade right now. And at the last info marker, it's just gone under 10 seconds now. So if he's able to really hustle that car, he could potentially maybe, keep that penalty clear and retain his position ahead of Slade at the very least, pending other cars to pit, of course.
Yeah, I guess he's not fighting anyone actively for position. It's just going to be getting through back markers potentially. So the opportunity is definitely there to keep that position. So it just got down to 5 seconds. What's happened is Zeri's having a look around the outside. Oh, and they come together. Come on, ladies and gents, keep it clean. Slade going a little bit wide again though, opening the door back up for Zeri as they're rubbing again. But Slade able to get back in front and shut the door on Zeri for the time being.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there, both on before the turn 1 and on the exit turn 1. Not sure if that was kind of just both cars kind of vying towards the outside line, trying to get on the power for the latter. The car yellow 396 or 296, I think. Yeah, it's Price Davis has gone for a spin just ahead of these two, a couple of corners. He should be going again by the time those come around the corner. Yep, he has done. Zeri definitely looks the quicker of these two, but hopefully these guys need to keep it clean. We saw a penalty for Benjamin Piper as well. See it, Aston Martin here. It's Atayake. See what's happened for the penalty. I imagine he gets it all wrong on the braking and unfortunately takes out the Aston Martin of King there. Unfortunately, he was having a pretty good race so far and sadly been shoved up into the gravel. So yeah, understandable drive-through penalty for a collision.
Yeah,
on that one.
that was a low percentage move. That was not happening. He literally just sent it straight across the curb and got it pretty much airborne, just straight into the side.
Yeah,
Poor move.
I think he just got way too late on brakes, and I think you really got to identify early. If you're late on the brakes, go to the other side. Don't try to go for up the inside. If you do, at least just let off, just try and bomb it across and get ahead before the corner. As Zeri tries to send the dummy and goes to the outside and then go back to the inside, as Slade is a little bit wider, so close, almost bending off the little aerofoils on the back of the Ferrari. And the Mustang trying to do his best, trying to get past, but it is a hard-fought battle. I'm hoping these two keep it clean. It's so close right now.
Yeah, just such a toe curler there. They're just coming so close together. Need to keep it clean through there.
To be fair for Zeri, if he does get Slade then and does have the pace, he can close up the Piper, and that will be net P4, which will be a very good result considering he had a pretty tumultuous first lap and also a penalty, I believe, as well. Did Zeri get a penalty for his early in the race? My memory eludes me right now.
I don't think so, but I would ask chat for their opinion. Sorry, my little birds are saying to me, what was that?
Yeah, we'll play on regardless right now. The Mustang driver over there. It's been a good recovery from the Mustang. We saw how quick he was last season.
Yeah, no, it's been a great drive regardless, penalty or not. Okay, my little birds are singing to me again. We don't believe he got a penalty.
Yeah, because he had contact with one of the Ferraris. I can't remember which one it was at the time. But it was at Price Davis, I think it was. But anyway, he now fights with Slade again, going left and going right again, and he's going to send it up the inside. He's going to stake his claim, and does get past, and he's going to have crisscrossed by the Ferrari. And unfortunately, I think that's going to leave the inside line for Slade for turn 2, and does retain his position. So yeah, unfortunately there, Zeri getting a little bit, I can understand why he sent it, but unfortunately meant he was able to get crisscrossed by the Ferrari and retain the inside line for turn 2, which is very hard to go around the outside.
Yeah, just coming in a bit too hot there, and it made him go wide. Left the door open for Slade to come back through. We'll see if he can get it done.
Dead right in chat as well. This is great for Piper right now to build the gap. It's already 12 seconds now to Piper, so he wants this fight to go on. He wants it to go on for the next 14 minutes.
I think Kumar is saying, I want in on this fight too. It's opening up for everybody.
Absolutely. It's a shame to see Dylan McDowell and Spence kind of been taken out of this fight. I'm not sure if Dylan is really closing on these lot, but we did see Zeri and Kumar taking quite early stops, so I would have been maybe might pay for it a little bit later, but it's all relative, to be honest. So Christoph gets a 15-second penalty on lap 23. So that's he's already in P15 right now. He's going to give Rondinella a place, so I guess that's some consolation for the McLaren driver. Slade gets a bad run again, defends the inside, and Zeri has to go to the outside. Can he do a Benjamin Piper? Force the inside driver to go deep and get the switch back. But Slade does it good. He keeps the car on the apex, gets it stopped, gets it turned in, hugs the apex. Nothing the car behind can do.
Yeah, great defense from Slade there. I think learning a bit of a lesson, keeping it nice and tidy and not leaving the door open for Zeri to even have a look.
What if it's just set up with Slade where you just can't get that car through that last corner the same amount of speed as everyone else can? Because I've seen multiple laps now, it's been really his Achilles heel.
Yeah, potentially it could definitely be affecting him. I mean, the Mustang's also just a monster on the straight.
They're side by side. He's going to have the inside. For turn 8, they're going to make contact, and unfortunately, Zeri's gone for a half spin, and Kamara is going to get ahead. Surely that one's going to go to the stewards.
It's a bit hard not really seeing the inside there, because Zeri copped a bit of that curb, and I wonder if he bounced out a bit, but I'm not going to make any calls there without seeing other views. But yeah, Kumar, the winner here, getting the position for free.
Yeah. Looked like it was another bad run from Slade, who kind of went a little bit wide, and Mustang had enough speed to kind of draw alongside with a better exit through the long right-hander of Schulbeck. Yeah, surely went for the stewards.
I wanted to see Kumar versus Slade through this last corner. They both just went wide, but I wanted to see if Kumar would have a faster exit, but he also touched a bit of sand there, so it's not really an equivalent comparison between the two.
Oh, he nearly hit Slade. Oh my goodness, it's Harsh Kumar. I think looking at the Mustang behind him, right, Slade was very lucky not to get collected in that. Oh dear, for him, Harsh Kumar, that's very unfortunate, but good for Zeri. Means he doesn't have to get past Kumar at least now, and see what happens with Slade. But yeah, oh dear.
Zandvoort giveth and Zandvoort taketh. Kumar, yeah, just a little bit hot into there, but it could move to not cause a collision at least. Don't know if that's going to be much consolation, sorry, for him.
Yeah, Slade's heartbeat wasn't up right now, it will be now.
And, Piper are very happy right now, that gap all the way up to 15 seconds, so do we have a replay coming in?
So they are alongside. I feel like, I feel like Slade might have turned in.
Yeah, Slade turned in on him. That's going to be a penalty.
Yep. Providing Zeri has called it. I can't imagine why he wouldn't, to be honest. I think the way these guys have been going at it, I'd be surprised if they weren't, calling their numbers. But, yeah, we'll see that one. Surely there's going to be a position, but I think even if Zeri was ahead of Slade right now, I'm not sure if he has enough laps to make up that gap to Benjamin Piper. 15 seconds, it's gonna be a lot. As you can see the power in the exit that Zeri gets. He gets so close, and with the slipstream with the Mustang, we already know how stupidly fast it can be. But with a slipstream and a good exit and a bad exit from the car ahead, it's just it's all these forces combined to make pretty scary turn 1.
Zeri going very wide through turn 3.
Maybe it's just the paint of the Mustang, the teeth. It's extra 10 horsepower.
Not the stripes?
Maybe the stripes as well. 5 horsepower for them.
So
I can't believe the way that these pros just always just shave the grass on the exit of the penultimate corner just perfectly, to the point that they don't get drawn out and then fly off into the wall like I do.
So we jump back in with our race leaders. Hobbsy closing the gap on Matthew Lamb. 1.6 seconds the current gap, as someone's parked up on the inside there, but happy to see they're not causing an incident for our leaders.
I think that was Lim. P14 as well. Oh dear, oh dear. No worries, but yes, the gap has really closed down. Lamb was taking it easy. He has obviously recovered his fastest lap from Mitch Hobbs. Maybe a little bit of traffic, might be playing into things a little bit here. It's already down to 1.5 second gap 8 minutes ago. And I'm sure it'll be a good fight between these two if it does come to it.
I just want to acknowledge for the chat because it seems a bit popular here. Loopty, Jaden Rantanella, known as Loopty, got a penalty.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm not too sure what that second penalty is for. I don't think it is the first penalty. I think that was served at the stop. Could be wrong on that one.
Peach, that's beautiful, mate. I love it. I'll repeat that for anyone not in the YouTube chat.
We don't acknowledge Peach. Don't do it, please.
Fine, only because you're my commentate mate, but it was good. I liked it. Hobbsy back a bit again. Actually lost about 4 tenths there. What's going on?
Indeed. And might be a little bit of ebbs and flows as they get through the lap traffic.
Yeah, that could be the make or break for these two, really.
We've got a fair amount of clear track up ahead, so we're probably only going to find one car. Oh, that said, the one ahead of that one is now just come a cropper at turn 9. It's a 786. I'm not too sure who that is. We'll say as well, update on P4 battle. I think that is Ibrahim, unfortunately, back there, and there's an RTG as a result for the bank cart. So rough race for him. But a little update, the gap is now down to 12.5 seconds between Slade and Piper. So it's like Zeri hasn't been able to put the move in, but the gap is closing. I wonder if those guys are on like a bit of a fresher set than the Bentley driver.
Yeah, potentially. It's interesting that they're both cohesively catching up to Benjamin Piper.
I'll say for the Bentley, it's a good car, but not too great on its tyres, and maybe because I think Piper got the penalty before the stop, but he might have opted to not take tyres, or even if he was playing, opted to do fuel to build the gap because he had the penalty, but might be paying for it a little bit now with the lack of rubber underneath him. See if Slade does get a penalty towards the end of this race, because I feel like yeah, that one's surely coming, but we can't say for certain. It's down to the steward's discretion.
Yeah, but I mean, Piper would be hoping that Slade can stay in front of Zeri and keep him at bay to maintain that P4.
Still 12.5 seconds so far. So yeah, Slade does have good pace when they needs to be. Doing 36 threes right now, which is relative to most of the field where they are. Obviously, I think let's say Zeri is looking quicker still. I think that's fair to say. He's been on the tail of that Ferrari the whole time. Not too sure for it as well, but yeah, Dylan McDowell did get ahead of Kumar as well when he had his incident. So it's a good job by the Porsche driver as well. It's looking good for a top 7. The top 7 example, I think. That's big. Maybe you feel like, oh, here and there could have been this, could have been that. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself, being in the top 10 in these races is. There's some strong competition out there. You really got to pat yourself on the back sometimes. So I think a lot of us like to play the coulda, woulda, shoulda game.
Yeah,
a
definitely.
Lonely road for Luke Johnson.
Nice, quiet race, uneventful race for Luke Johnson. Unlike last time out at Watkins Glen.
He's just chilling there. He's playing Kavinsky Nightcall right now, pretending he's Ryan Gosling.
I should have probably waited to say something like that until the race was totally over. But I promise it'll be fine.
If he listens back to this, I want you to edit that together, Luke Johnson. going
Yeah,
to final win. Sorry, but go on.
I was just gonna say, I'm wondering. I mean, there's not a lot of race left, but Jerry, I believe, pitted a fair bit earlier than Slade, and probably struggling with that Mustang and those rear tires. I don't know if a move will come at this point, but we will have to wait and see.
Indeedly.
That looks.
Spence, despite his penalties, still got to hold on to a top 10 as well. As well as Wesley. I don't think we've seen Wesley Yao this whole race either. Probably not quiet for him, but there we go. We gave him a little bit of screen footage there for Wesley Yao. I think he kind of joined sprints last season, and he's been very much on it as well in the Porsche. Not an easy car to drive, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, again, top 10 finish, Wesley Yao, nothing to sneeze at. And if he hasn't been on the camera that much, it's probably an uneventful race, which is maybe slightly boring, but nice and safe. Good points, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes you got to do those races, just the strategy races, and leads to a good overall position. Get the points in. Still 12-second gap, and
there's our penalty for Consolidation. Sorry.
5 second. No, it's all good. It's not really going to be much consolation to Zeri because he's got to get ahead, but not before the end of the race, which is only 2 minutes away. So I think Benjamin Piper is going to be safe so far, but will retain his P4 provided he keeps the pace up. Still McDowd now, maybe a little bit on the threat now from Harsh Kumar. Yeah, it said Harold and Kumar. Because that's been a while since I watched those movies.
I mean,
Stay tuned, everyone. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, stay tuned, everyone. After this, we will have split green, followed by qualifying and race, and we will do it all over again with a fresh set of drivers and commentators. Do this, stay tuned. Blake.
I was just going to say, in response to Paige in the chat, for 4 Porsches in the top 11, this split actually has a lot of Porsches, a lot of Ferraris, and a lot of McLarens in it. It's very interesting. So, I mean, just by the numbers, it's not unlikely that you're going to see a lot of Porsches in the top 11.
Yeah, fair to say, when one's been piloted by Matthew Lamb, it's pretty surefire for a top 10. And I think, yes, Dylan needs to keep on the pace here in the Porsche, Dylan McDowell, because he could benefit from Cafield Slade's 5 seconds, and I think that's why Cafield is really pushing things here to try and build the gap. It might be a little bit touch go, and not sure if how much the overall gap will be. Maybe even Kumar, he might drop behind Kumar at this rate as well. So, but we are on the last lap. 10 seconds to go. Our leader is coming down to turn 11, hands into box. And it's been a dominant race for the laundry house of Matthew Lamb. A little bit on the threat. I think Hobbsy will be, not too sure. He'll be kind of happy that he's retained within the sighting range of the Porsche, but I'm sure he'll rather be swap positions. But the Porsche of laundry house of Matthew Lamb comes across the line to win Zandvoort here for round 2 of the Simrigs Sprint Series, followed by Mitch Hobbs for Vessel Esports and the Lamborghini. Mr. Luke Gosling Johnson is going to come across the line now, having taken P3, just all on his lonesome, but still a good job for the Castrol McLaren. We'll look back to Benjamin Piper in the Pumobile Bentley. Been a good drive from him overall, been getting some overtakes done here, there, and everywhere. Come across with the stewards a little bit, but at this rate is going to retain his P4 from Cafield Slade. Definitely from Cafield Slade, given his penalty, but the Bentley comes P4 to win silver class. You see Slade here coming around the glass corner as well, following the nose from Zeri. It was a good effort from Zeri, but wasn't able to get past rightly, wrongly. And might be a little bit perturbed, but given the finishing, how his first lap went, it's a pretty good finish overall, followed by Dylan McDowell and Harsh Kumar to make up the top 8. Wesley Yao in the top 10 or P9, and then Spence makes it the top 10 overall. Well done.
Yeah, it looks like Slade is going to drop down to P8, I believe, after the penalty is said and done.
Yeah.
Bit of a shame, but
a little bit of a shame, but yeah, a really good cracking fight between that majority top 10 as well. Like they gave us a lot to commentate over. It was a good fight from them all around.
yeah, I
We
mean,
will.
beside the penalty, that was it was a well defended race by Slade. Like he got under attack on T1, what, like 10 times at least, and mostly held onto it. He did that penalty actually came in a different corner in the end, but yeah, great drive. Who would be your driver of the day today, Cam?
Ooh, well, it's kind of hard to choose. I think maybe my Bentley bias wants to give it to Venture and Piper, but maybe Luke Johnson. He kind of had the quietest race, but he was kind of just here, there, everywhere. Could have easily, just lost concentration and thrown it off, just being on his lonesome. So I'll give it to the Castrol McLaren. But we'll run through the order. Sorry, what's your driver today?
I'll give it to Piper because I love that move so much. Did it twice, it was really good. But yeah, let's run through the results really quick because we're gonna have to move on to split green.
Yep, so for overall, it'll be Lamb, followed by Hobbs and Johnson for the top three. And for silver, we'll have Piper, Zeri, and Kumar. So Slade drops back behind all those guys. And then Pro-Am, Yao, followed by Spence, followed by K for Pro-Am. Good driving from those guys. And Atayake, Kranich, and Ibrahim Bank, despite those two not finishing, will take out the podium. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, that'll round us up now for Split Yellow. We'll have a short interlude and hand things over to our colleagues in Split Green, so don't go anywhere.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and please have a lovely night.
Bye.
we're back after a short break. Welcome, viewers and everyone who's keen to see some racing. We're live with the OOR Split Green Season 19, Round 2, at the wonderful Zandvoort. I'm joined tonight in the box by GM-wise Josh Holmes, and we will have our Larko commentator of the night in Fluky Johnson join us shortly after he puts the rig back in the garage. How are you, Jim?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Yourself? How you go?
Yeah, doing all right. I am doing all right for a Wednesday, and keen to see, honestly, keen to see how everyone finds Zandvoort.
Yeah, I don't know if I envy them. Personally, I know some people love this place. I don't know if I share that feeling yet, but I'm hoping it makes for some good spectatorship, so we can all sit and talk about it.
I will light the commentary box and hopefully the YouTube chat on fire by saying that if this was the F1 layout with the banked corners, top 5 track in ACC.
Okay, I mean, I love a bit of banked corners, but yeah, I'm still unsure if it. Do they still is that? Trying to recall the F1. Does the F1 still have that little where that, I don't even know what to call it. Call it a chicane, I guess, before the big loop. Does it have that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's still not going to do it for me then.
It's.
I can't.
But think about it like this, right? It's slightly wider.
What, the chicane's wider in the F1 layout?
Slightly.
Okay, I mean, like, we can work with that. I'll trade. Yeah. For some extra degrees on the banking, we'll take it.
Exactly. As we jump on board in practice with Damiano Thurcolini. So we're just being informed that in 5 minutes we will jump over to qualifying. The server didn't boot up properly, and Glenn's PC's had a bit of sadness lately, so if we could start a GoFundMe for a new PC for Glenn, that'd be splendid. But yeah, so in 5 minutes we'll tick over to quali. We'll just run some laps around in free practice on board with Damiano Thurcolini, who I really hope does well and doesn't have sadness again towards the end like he did last week. Who's your pick for a early hot favourite?
Ooh, is this? Are we saying right off the rip for a race, or are we going quali?
Quali. We'll go quali. We'll stretch it out.
Yeah, we'll phase it out. Okay. Let's have a look at the board here. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Giacomo. P1.
The Giacomo is the guy who hasn't drove around with Hignett, right?
Yeah, so no, they've never seen each other on track yet, from my understanding. So I'm really keen to see that tonight. Well, this was kind of why I turned up. I was kind of hoping for that, really, you know.
It's all what we're hoping for. But take a look. We have Rackmat, who's jumped in. He missed last week, but he's jumped into the server for this week. And check out the livery on the Hondo. It looks mega.
Yeah, that does look nice. What does that say? Medulla? With Kenwood? What are we rating Kenwood as a speaker brand? Where are you putting them?
Yeah, it's a 6. It's a 6 out of 10.
6. Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, what's you going out of bog standard? Your mass-produced speaker brand. Which one are you going for?
Oh, I don't know. I need more time to think about that. give me to the end of the night to think about that. So, what about you?
I'll ask you again right at the end. Me, I'm basic. I'm going with Pioneer. If I'm buying one of them ones that you can get out of the store, it's going to be Pioneer.
You are really basic. You are really just absolutely homegrown Tweedle Thumb basic.
Absolutely. If it's bespoke, I'll do DD. DD speakers are awesome, but not everyone sells them, so But yeah, Pioneer all the way. All right.
They're like your bougie kind of choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you can't park there, sir. That Mustang was out there in the grass. As we welcome in Luke Johnson, Fluky Johnson into the comms box. How was your race, mate?
Oh, still on that push to talk.
He's done it 2 weeks in a row.
I want to say that his race went well in P3. Yeah, hopefully he's bought the trophy and the medal. Yeah, I can have a look at it. Haven't seen one of them.
When he figures out how to turn his push to talk on, as we are riding on the side of Tofig's car in Too Fig Too Furious. I love that name so much. But we're just jumping over to quali now, everyone. So as they all funnel out, really in qualifying here, I feel like track position and getting your own space is like absolutely key. Like, yeah, you can pump out fast lap after fast lap, but especially here in a tight, twisty track where it's easy to make mistakes, you do not want to be held up at all.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I mean, this does seem a bit like a track that might be prone to a bit of bottlenecking, and especially ones that might invite backing up into sector 3 for that final corner run. So it'll be interesting here to see how all these drivers space themselves out tonight. Hopefully we get everyone's best performance for quali and no one's hindered.
I really hope they all just stop in sector 3, form a conga line, and then all try to 9 wide in the turn 1 for the first quali lap.
Can we get the RD on board to make that happen?
Quick, let's make it happen. It work.
We can get this working.
As we're on board, George, I'm not going to butcher your last name this week. So George, as he rounds the final corner, jumping through onto the main straight. What's a good banker time around here for you fellas?
You see, I haven't lapped the track enough, but I would be, or in these conditions, I'd be happy with a low, like a 35 flat, I reckon. Banker, and then try and work off there and try and dip into those mid 34s. But again, I haven't really raced here that much, so I have no clue. That's just going off what I've seen, really.
Yeah, it's not too bad of an estimate, really. Do we have you there yet, Fluky?
He is deafened, looks like, at the moment, so it's obviously organised himself. Maybe this was a bit of a sweaty race. Maybe he's gone for a shower, post-race shower, wash off the champagne, maybe.
Or he's wash up all the champagne. Gets a bit sticky with the champagne, doesn't it, after a hard race? As we're on board, George is rounding kind of like that intersection of really long apex corners. Comes down onto the best corner in the game. I mean, this chicane.
Oh my God.
He should take a little bit more of that inside, really. So there's definitely time there. Rounding out of the chicane onto the loop. Let's see how he attacks these two corners on the inside. Yeah, not too bad of a line through there. And let's see if he can hold it full all the way through the final corner. Keep it in there, son. Keep it planted. Nice. Let's see where this sits in.
Oh, 36.2. Not bad, not bad. So low 36 from Thurkalini there.
They all seem to Hill jumps up to 35.6. So they're all starting to trundle through on the times. It'll be interesting to see what the likes of Tafik Keys, Rackmat and Jay Coleman can do, as I probably would put them as like my top four for the night, who are going to probably battle it out, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Marshy, did I get a new mic? No, I've actually picked this one up out of my cupboard back in the day when I used to stream as a young buck. So hopefully it's working better than last one.
You sound delectable.
Delectable? Yeah, we got that on the classic AM sound, you know, that FM radio, you know, you hearing that shit?
Josh always sounds delectable.
Here we
Welcome,
go, we got Fluky.
We got Fluky.
Yes.
Where you
Oh,
go?
mate, it wasn't push to talk. I just want to clarify that right now. It was not push to talk for whatever reason. Discord just didn't want my voice to come through. I've only had to restart it about 5 different times and change all the sub settings, but we're here now. We're all good. I just washed a bit of champagne out of my ears.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
As we're watching Hill round the final corner. So he's been jumped by Rackmat with a 34.2. Rackmat has got that Honda singing.
1.2.
All I'm saying is that he has that VTEC, yo. That VTEC is going. He's slamming those gears. He's absolutely chuffed with himself.
Slamming those gears in that VTEC. And it's a fast track too, so that's a wickedly quick time.
Every time, I'm imagining in his cockpit, every time Rackmat shifts, he just goes VTEC, yo, big grin on his face. His gums are flapping out the window with the window down.
Oh,
he's just
like,
yo,
out the window.
Yeah,
definitely going to turn out the window shifted. The stick shift too. He'd have the stick shift set up, 100%.
Hitting the double dragon with the vape. Oh, surely.
As we're still on board with Hill, so as we jump to Hamilton, the Lewis Hamilton mock entry. What do we rate the livery, fellas? What do we rate the Monster Energy LHR car? I don't mind it. I don't mind the use of the colour. He's only half a second off Rackmat too, so if you can kind of jump in and even improve a little bit and kind of scare Rackmat, but that VTEC.
I mean, at the moment, it does look like Rackmat has that laptop in the passenger seat. He's dialing it in. The VTEC's going to be singing soon. I imagine. I'm hopeful for a 33 late in this quali. I really want it to happen.
Yeah, 33 would be great. One thing to note there is Mr. Keys in the 22 Nissan DR hasn't put in a time yet. So are we potentially looking to see... I don't know, he's gone yellow on track and he's gone back to pit. So are we going to see another last to first challenge from Mr. Keys? Are we expecting him to blow his engine on the grid again this week?
I'm hoping he doesn't blow the engine, but it does look like a last to first. And I think maybe with this format, it might work out a bit better just because there is pit stops required of the drivers. So there's some strategies that could bump him up a whole chunk of places without him having to fight for every single one. So might be viable. Might also mean that he can avoid possible carnage that might happen this side, but hopefully no carnage happens at all. Not jinxing anything here.
That is a
He's already
hideous
gone.
livery, Ben. That is hideous. That is a hideous livery, Ben. Get that car.
Is that the livery that's supposed to be on that car? It just looks...
Yeah.
That looks
So
like
that's-
it's got...
It's supposed to be a snake skin vibe, but it looks like it's merged with the base layer. But that's...
I reckon that's the livery built for his Ferrari that he was hoping to swap over to, and before he realised that he was stuck with the Porsche after last week.
Yeah, I actually got an offer from Ben. He asked, would I like to trade places with him tonight, and I can hop in the Porsche for him, and he can come and join you guys in the comms box. And yeah, it just wasn't really a trade I was keen on, if I'm honest.
No, 100%. Being in this com box is 100 times more enjoyable than driving the Porsche around here, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and it's priceless. Time spent with you, Fluky and Connor, priceless. Right? Wouldn't trade for anything.
You can feel the love in here, can't you?
I think as well, as that car's taken an interesting line through there, I think as well, like, if we swap places and we had Jam jump in the car and then Ben come in here, I feel like we'd hear one word from Ben all night. And that's no disrespect to Ben. He's just a really, really quiet fella. Or you'd hear,
He is the quiet achiever, and an achiever he is, particularly in this league. He's done very, very well throughout the years.
Except for picking a Porsche. Anyway, what I was going to say
we
earlier...
all make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
What I was going to say earlier is that Keys should try and put it in P2, so that off the start, P1 and P2 is like Super GT, and you let the Japanese brands battle it out. I reckon Chad can get behind me on that one.
Yeah, surely we get one of his teammates speaking into comms, just begging him, put a lap out there for us, please.
What do I have to do?
Super GT start, that'd be amazing.
What do we have to do to get the Nissan and the Honda on the front row together into T1 at Zandvoort? Let's go. We have a minute 52.
Is Keys still in the pits? If you look here,
he's out. He still hasn't posted a time though.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've seen Keys in the practice. But I was going to say, I've seen Keys in the practice server post some absolutely insane times in that GTO, and it just seems to not. He just can't seem to nail a lap this time around. So I don't know what's caught him out, but hopefully he's got a minute 15 to sort out whatever issues he's got going on there, and put in an absolute banger.
So we have the insider knowledge that he reckons he's going to start last. But that's okay. If he starts last, can he do it again? Can he make the charge up the grid towards the front? We'll have to see. But as we jump around, like, look at the bright pink wheels stand out. The car shouldn't be any good here, but it is, because reasons.
Like the least DTR friendly track on paper.
We jump back up to the top of the leaderboard, so we have Rackmat in P1 currently, who's up a lot. Hopefully they get out of the way. Oh, he pulls over to the side. Nice, Rackmat. Lost a little bit of time, not too much. Let's see. He lost quite a bit through there. Gained a bit on the exit, though. Can he hold it? Can he hold it? Through the final corner, 2/10 up. Come on, drop that 33. You can hear the VTEC screaming. You can hear it. Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
good lap.
That's
Mega lap.
33. What a lap.
We can all go to bed happy. We've seen it.
Hold the race. That's it. Enough.
Yeah.
Honda's in a 33. And then we have the Bentley of McAdam, who absolutely had a gorgeous race win last week, into P6. So he'll hope to kind of charge towards the front as well. But you kind of have the same kind of people towards the front. I'm surprised Tafiq hasn't gone any higher, because I know he can lap quicker than that. And Jer Coman hasn't gone any higher. So what's the go there, fellas?
I'm wondering if the fast track conditions was just getting to some of the setups, or making some cars feel a little bit loose. Maybe they're practicing in Optimum. Not too sure. Could just be. I mean, it's just switched over to Optimum late on in the quali session, so it could be that.
It's also a little bit cooler than the practice server as well. So it's currently only 10 degrees ambient and on track, so that's quite chilly.
Yeah, it looks like for Taufik, his sector 1 is strong, so not too bad, but it's half a second on sector 2 lost to Rahmat, and then 4/10 on sector 3. So maybe, I'm not too sure if those are, I haven't really raced yet too much, so wondering if those sectors require a lot of grip from the vehicle. Oh,
Wires is invalidated. He was 2/10 up. That's shame to see.
That is certainly not the line there through their Squires. As Tafiq's gonna pull over because he lost the lap time. So we have Rackmat with a 33.9 on pole. Hamilton in P2. Hignett in P3. Weatherburn in P4. McAdam in P5. Squires in P6. Smith in P7. Tafiq in P8. Hill in P9. And Damiano Thurcolini, great qualifying, rounding out in P10. All right, fellas. You love to see it. You love to see it. So, fellas, with qualifying out of the way, we have a 60-minute race. It's 2 stops. So pretty much, I imagine most people will be going for quali trim. You'd be pretty silly not to go for quali trim, I think. Who are we getting our early shouts on?
Hard to go past Rashmat at this point. That's a stellar lap to get it into the 33s in the old VTEC. So, on the basis, as you said, it is essentially quali lap runnings. Unless Hamilton can get himself out there early and make a move, and it's Rashmat for this one for me, I think.
I'm gonna go with Yoda here as a dark horse, just because Rahmat is in a Honda, which I believe are designed to murder the driver as quickly as possible. So I'll go with the Mustang here.
I'll get Hamilton out of P2 around the outside to take his first ever win. And look at that livery. Just look at it. Look at it. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Even on that car, but gorgeous. As we rolling down the grid, yeah, there's we have a little bit of a dark spot here where there's a little bit less concern for the livery, so that's okay. There's still some bangers towards the back here, though. But, gentlemen, T1, how many cars wide into T1 are we going? And, yes, there will be carnage.
Oh, beautiful BMW livery there. I'm not biased at all when I saw that. It's incredible, really. T1 carnage. Well, I'm thinking Rahmat clears the Aston right off the line. So it'll be between Hignett and Hamilton where we get our first, I guess, sign of how much carnage is to come. Because I'm assuming that Porsche will pull up alongside the Aston by the time they get to T1. But if memory serves me correct, I think the Honda is one of the fastest vehicles in terms of pure acceleration, as long as the turb skis are spooled up.
I'm going to say 4 wide carnage.
4 wide.
All right, fine. 6 it is. We're going all in on the all in. I hope everyone sends it. I just really hope everyone sends it. It's round 2. The championship's been going on for so long already. It's like it's just got to happen. I think as we're on board with Benjamin, all the mistakes Hignett. Man. You need to question your life choices, mate. As they're really sniffing the rear of Rahmat's Honda there. So hopefully they get the tyres in check and get the tyres sorted over this lap. I reckon if he can keep it together, like Liam is pretty consistent and pretty quick. Like obviously Rahmat is like an absolutely top driver, but if Liam can keep it consistent, he could just keep enough pressure on to be there, kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, his quali lap was in the low 34s, and it's a banger lap. And in the Aston as well. Like that's top for him. He's put out a cracker of a quali. He's got himself up in the second. Anything can happen. Blue flags because the lap isn't the longest lap in the world, and because of the pit strategies, blue flags it's quite a prominent thing around here. So it can cause all sorts of chaos for the lead drivers as they come through, and as long as you stay consistent, keep your nose out of trouble, it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon you've got us for the start this time, Jam-wise, for round 2 as they round the final corner.
Oh God, you really put me on the spot here. Okay.
Just don't catch me when it's fine.
Oh, well, I'll try my best. Here we are for round 2, Zandvoort. Kicking off just around the final corner now. we're about to see Ruckmart take on Hamilton into T1, followed by Yoda or Weatherburn and Ignat. So here we are, everyone's lining up on their grip boxes as we get ready for the green lights, which are just under these boards here. And we go. And it looks like Ruckmart might have lost out to the Aston on the jump there, but they're going too wide. Same with, oh, and there's contact. Oh, wow, okay, so there's contact between Hamilton's pushed Ruckmart back into third place. Yoda's up into P2 from P4, I believe, so that's great gains from him. And Hignat's still in that P4 slot there, getting chased down by Aiden Squires there. So not the 6 wide that Flurky called and wanted, but we did get some contact, which I did not expect between a Honda and the Aston. I thought the Honda would have said goodbye to the Aston by the time we reached T1, but it did not happen that way, and it looks like everyone's followed through now. I can't seem to see that number there, guys. Can you see that at the back there? Was that 844?
Yeah, it's Piccolini from 10th.
Whoa. Where did we lose him? I didn't even see that contact. I was so focused on the Honda and the Aston contact.
I think he didn't ready up on the grid, so he started from the pit. There, mate, you got to finish your lap, mate. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I just had to do the big and fast, you bastards. So we're closing out the first lap of Zandvoort here. It's relatively clean. I mean, there wasn't that much carnage, which is surprising because it's a pretty tight track, but I guess that might encourage people just to follow the car up ahead. And yeah, just really the contact between Hamilton and Ruckmart. Hoping that not too much damage was done there for Ruckmart or Hamilton, and the race can continue cleanly and as planned. But yeah, I appreciate the first lap shout. Thanks, Connor. I was ready for it, mate.
It's all right. He got in there, and you did well, mate. As we jump on board with Ruckmart, who's all over the back of Yoda. I wonder if Yoda will be a kind of a cork in the bottle to allow Hamilton to get away a bit, because Hamilton's already out to 1.3 second lead.
Yeah, the starting procedure there, it did look like Hamilton had a nose ahead of Ruckmart going across the line as it went green. So I don't know going into the starting procedures whether Ruckmart slowed down there or Hamilton potentially sped up a little bit, but was a bit of discrepancy there. I thought it was on Ruckmart to set the pace and to keep his nose out in front, and yeah, just Hamilton just absolutely mugged him off the line. So it's Piccolini.
Oh no.
Back in the pits, what's happened there?
I reckon.
And Hill as well.
I genuinely reckon that Ruckmart used up all the VTEC in qualifying. There was just no more VTEC left to give.
It's very possible. Is that sadness from number 13 coming out of the last corner? Yes. I dare say so. There's a yellow flag out there. And a few players following Hill's, that's David Barker, the number 13. Looks like he may have caught a little bit of dirt there. That car is looking very broken. A few players looking to pit early on. That is a broken Ferrari. Holy crap.
That is sadness, Ferrari. He's definitely going to need all the Milwaukee sponsorship and power tools.
Send out the
Go down to your local Milwaukee depot, grab some power tools, get on the fix as we jump on board with Tafiq. Tafiq's kind of, he's gained a few spots, so he can't complain there, and now he's got to try and find a way past Squires. Smith still there in the mix. He had a good race last week as the Bentley gets sideways out of the corner. He does have Jer Coleman behind, and as we know, Jer Coleman is a very safe driver.
Very safe driver. No history with anybody. But he's got a little bit of catching up to do. He's starting a little bit out of position there. But as I was, oh, that Bentley's just dipping a few wheels into the grass on the exit of each corner. You don't want to keep doing that, Smithy. That's going to cause you all sorts of problems moving on later on to this race. But as I was saying earlier on last lap when we were coming around, there's no pit window, and there's 2 mandatory stops for this particular race. So we did see a good chunk of players. Drivers coming in and taking their first of their mandatory pit stop right off the bat, hoping to get potentially some fresh air and maybe a cheeky track position or two when the front runners do their first stop. So it's an interesting strat. We'll see if it pays off, Cotton. Could work for some, might not work for others, but we'll see how that goes.
Maybe we could, Glenn, if you could, get in chat. There was a very big incident in the last corner. If we get some eyes on that at some stage to see what happened. We're just about to get it. Yeah, good. This is good. So yeah, we'll get some eyes on that and see what happens as G. Coman. Ooh, okay. So we could see what happened to Barker earlier as we jump on board with replay. So Barker's going around. The McLaren has stuck the nose on the inside.
Runs going in. That's it. He's on the way through as well. Oh, he's done very good to keep that, but that's a big hit for Barker.
That is...
That's a good move by Keys there. Went straight to the pits immediately, so didn't suffer any time loss in terms of damage around the lap because he effectively got bounced into the pits, which was the right call.
Very broken Ferrari.
I'm surprised.
That Ferrari is hurting.
I'm surprised so many people got through there. Like, so many people looked like they didn't even let up and just full throttled in the hope and full send that they got through. So there was definitely some risky benefactors from that incident, but obviously your Barkers of the world, and especially Keys, kind of just caught at the wrong moment at the wrong time.
Yoda's doing well here to keep Rahmat behind. It looks like Rahmat and Ignat want to start chasing down Hamilton, but I mean, it's not. Weatherburn doesn't have to give this up at all. He just hold them up as much as he wants. Maybe he's going long and then short at the end, and their short stint here is being hindered. I'm curious to see what different fueling strategies all these cars have taken.
The Mustang economical on fuel? Absolutely not.
No.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have the pace of Hamilton up ahead as Hamilton's extended the gap to 2.2. And maybe just the guys behind are just that little bit more nifty right now in the early stages of the race. But what it's doing is it's gonna slowly bring Squires into this battle pack if Rahmat and Hignett can't find their way through. So as we are on board.
And were you saying that it would be Hamilton's first win? Would it be a maiden win for Hamilton? Is that right?
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So I mean, he's got to be a bit nervous now, knowing that he's gotten that spot from Rahmat right off the rip, which is a massive hurdle to overcome there, and had that done by T1. So now it's just a game of how long he can keep his cool and keep the pace going and not worrying about the very experienced operators behind him.
Absolutely clenched cheeks, I reckon he's got right now. But he's had the start of starts, really, like to get those turbos spooled up on that Aston and just to absolutely mug, to catch Rahmat napping essentially off the start is a pretty impressive move. So we'll see how he goes. He's got to nail his stops. Like, now it's just nail your stops. Don't do anything too aggressive, too egregious. Just nail the stops, calm, consistent, and 50 more minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's already put a second out on Weatherburn already this lap, so he's flying out there. And like you said, hopefully he's got enough fuel just maybe to go just that little bit longer, get those fresh tyres of the second, third stint. With, as you mentioned, Weatherburn potentially being a little bit of a cork in the bottle here, that Rahmat just can't find, as we say, Hamilton with the fastest lap, 34.1 4. That is absolutely flying.
Hamilton has unlocked another gear right now in this race, so it's good. That nearly matches his quali time, I believe. So yeah, he's definitely on it. He's definitely on it, and all it's doing, like Yoda's an experienced operator, as is Rackmat, as is Hignett. All Yoda not having the outright pace of Hamilton right now is doing is just backing Rackmat up into Hignett and allowing Hamilton to skip away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're currently circulating, so P2, P3, P4 all doing 34.8s is their best, and their last one was about a 35.1. So yeah, so this is really letting Hamilton stretch his legs now, and it looks like he's picked up a bit of damage on that right side from those contacts. So I wonder how much he's actually got. Luckily, it looks like it's mainly on the side, so should be
Hamilton?
Right. Yeah.
Can the Aston, I've never really drove the Aston, but can it take damage? Like, can it take a bit of a hit?
Not too sure. I mean, if it's on the side, hopefully. I mean, most cars tend to be, it looks like it's on the right side, the damage, from what I can see, which is the other side of this one, but yeah. No,
we would just have to imagine it's on the other side.
Just picture what it is here and then just mirror it. Chat,
yeah,
you've got the imagination.
Yes, I mean it's like that but scratched, really. No, you know. So
Here we go. We might see a little bit here.
Just a small glimpse.
Looks fine. It'll buff out.
I reckon if he takes to it with some race tape, he'll be fine. Race tape and a bit of Durex.
Easy.
What's the Durex for?
Why not? Because why not?
I mean, Flex Seal as well is great, I heard.
Oh no, we should get the guy off that too.
Make a Flex Seal car, surely.
Have to. It'll stop all the leaks. As we jump back to the backpack here, so we've got Rackmat is being like, he's got the pace and he just can't. Is the Honda good out of corners? Like, can it take off out of corners compared to the Mustang, or is it like kind of like even?
From what I've heard, apparently it can, but then again, my sources are not necessarily like valid or verified, I would say. It's just hearsay. But from what my understanding was it was just as quick as a Porsche out of corner if you've got the turkeys spooled up.
He took a good chunk of the curb out of the chicane there going into sector 3, so he's definitely got it geared up to be able to take a bit of punishment. But yeah, you can just see as they go down as they went down the main straight, there's just the Mustang just has top end that the Honda he keeps up, but he doesn't gain anything in the slipstream. It's all just keeping up at this point. So Zandvoort's one of those tracks. It's nearly impossible to overtake at the best of times. So Yoda's just going to keep Weatherburn, and he's just going to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, it looks like also Taufik is also chasing down Squires as well. So that's also one to look out for. As we've got Squires, who's relatively new to the scene, and then Taufik, who is a veteran, if you will. So it'll be interesting to see how this battle ends up and what ends up happening, especially Ferrari versus Ford. I think that would make a good movie or something like that from memory.
Nah.
I guess.
No? Okay. All right. Well, I'll just. Anyways, I guess I'll just.
No
wrap
history
that up.
no history with these brands at all.
Nah, it isn't a bad movie. I'll give it that. But like, Taufik has to overcome that straight line of the Mustang, which, I mean, like.
Well, so
okay.
so we've got two drivers here, both stuck behind Mustangs. Ferrari and Honda. What's got the better top end run that can give it to the Mustang? Because it's looking here that I think the Ferrari definitely is losing it down the straights and is able to tuck it into turn one. But what's got the better up and go, the Ferrari or the Honda?
Out of
Up
a
and
corner.
go. Yeah.
I'd probably say the Ferrari's awful out of a corner, like low down. But once it gets up and going, it's fine. It just takes a little bit to get there. It takes like a little bit of coaxing, you know, a little bit of kind of cuddling it, taking it out for a dinner, kind of like, you know, giving it some red wine, getting it a little bit tipsy, and then it kind of goes, oh yeah, we'll have a bit of a dip now. But
Right. Okay. Red. Is that like a? Is that your go-to? Is it?
It's more like zesty. It's more romantic. It's more romantic, like, you know, because like you and your car are one. As we see, Squire's line through there is really shallow coming out. So I don't know. Tafiq gains a lot, but it seemed like he had to pull up just to avoid hitting the back of Squires there.
So at what point do both Rakhmat or Tafiq consider taking a pit stop to see if they can get the undercut?
Maybe in the next lap or two. Like realistically, like if you're aiming to do 20-20-20 stints.
Oh, there we go.
Keep it super. So Tafiq's jumped the gun.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that battle between Squires and Tafiq. And if Jer Coleman catches up to the back of Squires in this next lap or two, whether he follows the same suit.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the call, especially if he's just hemorrhaging time behind a Ford here, and I'm assuming it's also not that nice trying to drive behind a Ford on a vehicle that's already maybe a little bit killy, and now you've got I guess some dirty air to deal with on top of that. That might be the better strat, just to try and find yourself some clean air in the Honda and go from there.
Unless unless he's going to try and stick out this first like run of as Yoda. Absolutely. That is raceman experience right there. That is nip and tuck. That is a bit of bump drafting. That is, that's good. That's good stuff. That's what we love to see. More of that, please.
As long as it doesn't end up in tears.
As Hignet's
off.
corner just turned into absolute tears. So we have Yoda is gonna let Rack.
It looks like he let him go.
Yeah.
I think he got caught up in the bit of the bump and grind there and was just like, you know what? I don't want any of that. And he's going to let Rakhmat go. So we'll see how Hamilton's got 5.5 seconds on them, which is going to the other element of the strategy, the pit stop, is that the mandatory requirement for the 2 pit stops is fuel only. And the fuel is a set timer of 25 seconds. But if you take tyres, it's a 30-second pit stop. So you got 5 seconds there to play with. And on a track where track position is king, Hamilton at the moment 5.5 seconds off. There's soy sauce on the track.
That's it. Keys is spilling out all those GDR packets. So we've seen, so the original order's restored. Yoda is back in P2. Rakhmat is going to be in P4. Ben is looking around the outside. Both these guys have had incidents within the last lap. You're changing tyres if you're Rakhmat now, because they would be a bit sorry after that slide.
They looked cooked. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see both of them dive into the pits as
I wonder
and
how
comes right up on the back.
I wonder how Cook Ben's size were from that slide going out into the gravel too. Like whether he just kind of like they're a bit screaming, a bit bleeding. So this is just kind of like that's just kind of given Hamilton like a breath of fresh air, really, in a way.
Absolutely, he doesn't need to make that decision. Ultimately, he can grab those fresh set of tyres, take the extra 5 seconds, and still have the track position to stay out in front. So
and it looks like he's still comfortably circulating in the 34s at this stage. So
he's
not only is
cruising. He is
was
having a
he,
great
like,
time.
chill moment here, but he is still pulling a gap. Even if they were trouble-free, he was still pulling a gap. So this is looking good for a maiden victory for Hamilton, but obviously there's 40 minutes and 5 seconds to go, so I don't want to call it too early there, but very hopeful for Hamilton.
And you've jinxed him. Now I'm just reading over the YouTube. I'm just reading over the chat right now, and we had the couple of questions asked if like numbers were called or anything, or just having friendly rubs. No, but no numbers were called, and stewards were told to let Yoda redress and let Rackmat go after their friendly little rubbing game.
Okay, so there's a redress.
Yeah, we might have got a different angle. I mean, the stewards have all the angles there, but it might have been a case that Rackmat did have the overlap and may have been pushed out wide and unable to complete his overtake. So, yeah, interesting little battle going on there. As Weatherburn has come into the pit.
Interesting. It looks like Rackmat has come up behind Taufik now, so he's battling Taufik for position. So that means I'm assuming that Taufik did not take tyres and Rackmat had to.
And did Ben take tyres?
I
Because
just think
Ben is
Ben
fair up the road.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
fair chunk of time up the road, and Ben, watching the way that car's behaving going through some of those slower corners, he's getting pretty sideways. So I reckon he's running the old worn tyres there.
That or I'm just thinking Rackmat was in that contact right at T1 lap 1, or did he choose to repair? Was the car maybe unsettled? Because it seemed to have been front left damage on Rackmat's car as he kind of pit maneuvered Hamilton a little bit. So maybe does the Honda not like front damage at all? Did he choose to repair it?
So hold on, and maybe, but also Yoda's came out from his stop behind Rackmat after Rackmat lost it as Yoda go, whoa!
What has happened there?
Has he had a bad stop, or is he having? Is it more mechanical? Is it like mechanical difficulties, hardware difficulty, something
Has
like
he
that?
got a problem?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, that did look like a chronic Ford ploughing moment, but it was at a strange part of the track for that to happen. And he wasn't in any dirty air at all. Looked like he was relatively clean running.
Well, that's not what you want after your pit stop, though. You got a little bit of damage now on the front of that car. It's going to cause all sorts of dramas through some of these long high-speed corners. All sorts of understeer. But yeah, you guys are right. He's now 3 seconds behind Rackmat, who's right on the back of Taufik. Taufik's the big winner out of all the pit stops at the moment.
And the quiet winner is McAdam. McAdam's sitting there behind Hignett now, like right behind him, and we haven't spoken about him all race.
No, he took a relatively early pit stop. So he might have got out there fresh boots and through the luck of the draw managed to have a lot of clean air in front of him, because that's obviously the other issue that you take that early pit stop, do you end up in the slower traffic? But he looks like he's managed to stay out of traffic and has really got himself right up on the back of hitting it. So yeah, shout out to McAdams for that one.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, definitely doing well. Strategy playing in favour there for McAdam, because just judging off his best lap so far is a 35.2 compared to Hignett's 34.7. So it looks like pace is in favour of Hignett, but strategy has worked out in a way for McAdam that he now has this opportunity to face Hignett for that position. So really well done there by McAdam, and also great livery. I am a fan of that livery.
I do like it better than the racing green, if I'm honest. And I know There's going to be
Yeah.
squawking. There's going to be squawking.
There's going to be
I
a
don't-
lot of squawking.
I don't care.
Yeah. Said this last week. Green's
I mean,
iconic.
Why don't we bring our attention to the watch brand that's on their Breitling? You know, you guys a fan of it? You got a different watch brand that you like, or you're not watch people?
I don't wear watches. Watches
That
would,
answers that.
would break very, very easily if I was to wear them. So
I was
I
going
don't
a
wear them.
little bit on the deep line there. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, their watches are not my thing. But it does look nice. The brand, like the logo, looks nice on the car. So I'll give it to them for that. It's still no Atlanta Hawks Porsche, so whatever you say is invalid. So we jump on board with Tafik again, who's holding off Rackmat. Yoda's there in the background after apparently maybe a bit of a skill issue with a maybe potentially trying not to speed in the pit lane, maybe. So he's absolutely ballsed up that as we watch Keys is quiet. Oh, he must have had a lot of damage. Like, he must have had so much damage on that hit. Because in P17, you would have thought he would have gained some spots by now. So, but he's there with King. So I imagine he'll probably get past King soon enough. So hopefully we'll see where he ends up in the top 10. I imagine he'll march somewhere there.
Yeah, well, we're almost halfway through the race, and he has come up from around 23rd to 17. This track, a lot harder to overtake, I think, than Watkins was last week. So he's got his work cut out for him at the moment.
Especially when having that big moment right at the start of the race does not aid in helping.
Definitely.
I believe it was
Definitely
30
doesn't help.
seconds of damage, so he's effectively had to take 3 pit stops this race to clean up that damage and compared to his competitors.
So he's gonna run.
Unfortunate.
So he's gonna run a massive last stint, maybe. Potentially.
Yeah.
It looks like he would be the first person to clear off both mandatory pit stop requirements for the race. So he's hoping to make those tyres last, get some clean air potentially, and make it stick. We've seen that our race leader, Liam Hamilton, has completed his first stop, and he's just under 7 seconds in front of Mr. Hignett there. So he's laughing with all the time in the world. And as we move down to the battle for what will be provisional 4th at the moment, Mr. Too Furious doing a fantastic job holding off Rackmat. And it's allowed weather burn to actually get right back up into the gearbox of that Honda. So again, Rackmat just really suffering cork bottles at the moment.
Rackmat will be sick of looking at the rear-ended cars, I reckon. Like, I'm sure he didn't sign up to this season or to Zandvoort to be like, you know what, I'm gonna stare at the rear of a car for 60 minutes. Let's go, baby. Nah, he's absolutely. I hope he's furious. I hope he's absolutely throwing the VTEC and the gears. I hope he's throwing the gears through the floor of that car to try and just get it singing, get it moving.
I tell you what, it's one thing to follow a car through a majority of this track, but it's one thing to be right into the gearbox of a Ferrari for basically what has been so far the entirety of this first half of this lap. He is within inches. Oh, we see there's a bit of contact, and that is sent Tafik into the wall. I was literally just commenting on the skill it takes to be that close to your competitor in front, and I've just cursed the crap out of him. Tafik, mate, I apologise. You can send your receipt to Fluky Luke 19, Crow's Nest, Lockbag, 9999.
It's a trap. Don't believe him. So, as we check in roughly the halfway point of the race, Hamilton has the fastest lap still. He's still our provisional kind of on-track leader. Good blue flag work by that BMW to just let all the cars through. Absolutely good stuff. Tafiq is in sadness. Rakhmat is sick of looking at the rear end of cars. Yoda's had some skill issues. McAdam is possibly running the quietest race in existence. And Hignett is just doing Hignett things in the Porsche. How long do we think? So, Jer Coleman, who's in P1 right now on track, he was P6, P7, I think, before the stops. So how long do we think it... Okay, there we go, he's pit. Good. Absolutely excellent news reporting.
Saying it as it happens, Connor. Yeah, they're live.
It looks like McAdam's trying to make a move here. Ben's defensive in the chicane as well. Just from what I'm seeing on the timing charts there, and then he's failed the move as well. So
we just saw that the fake there just a little bit wide on exit. And Rakhmat taking the narrower line, but I mean, where does Tafiq go in that situation? He can't really leave much more space for Rakhmat to work with there. It's not like he. I mean, in my opinion, from that angle, it doesn't look like Tafiq comes across in any capacity. He's just gone a little bit wide and follows the road. He's probably coming just a little bit, but I think the trajectory of Rakhmat there was also that he was going out wide himself. So, is that a racing incident? Will we see a penalty? The stewards have got much more angles than what we've seen there, and they'll no doubt be looking very long and hard into that one to see whether there is a.
Sorry, no, take it away.
No. We'll just see whether there is a penalty or not.
Yeah. No, hopefully not. I mean, but yeah, they have to make the goal ultimately at the end of the day, but it's never good to see a penalty on the racetrack. But it looks like Rakhmat obviously just chucking in a purple lap there, 34.3. So car's still got mega pace as he's approaching McAdam and Hignett's battle there, and they have been while there was some drama between Taufik and Rakhmat, McAdam was shaping up for some moves on Hignett a few times. I was watching the background as well, so it's not like McAdam's happy just sitting here. It looks like he's backing himself and he wants that position, so should be interesting. Oh, there we go, and it looks like he's just dipped pits now, so he's decided maybe he'll get this done off track and via pit strategy, see if he can pull off another pit stop masterclass and gain another 4 positions.
Yeah, he did pit a little bit earlier than the rest of the gang around him, so he's looking to hopefully just keep that rubber as fresh as possible and just extend that last stint out and hope track position keeps him out in front.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe he's trying to get that done off track because he knows how hard it is to get a pass done on track here. So maybe he's thinking if he can undercut them and then just defend with ease, because he's got a massive Bentley to park up on all of the racing lines, and he can hold his position.
Absolutely. As we are on board now with Squires, our last remaining driver who has not completed any of his mandatory pit stops, actually, is gone more than half the race length, having not completed a pit stop. So has someone told Mr. Squires that there's actually 2 mandatory stops this race, or is he going for the Ultra 1000 IQ double pit strat consecutive time later on in this race?
Personally, I felt that Mr. Kranich had trademarked that move with the double pit stops back to back. That's, those were rightfully his strat.
Yeah.
from my experience of watching 2 mandatory stop races at OOR. So maybe
No, we love the
he's
alternate
given,
credit strat.
yeah, maybe Kranich has given Squires the rights to go and do that, so we can witness it. Tonight without Kranich being in this split, be good.
It's possible that Squires has big-brained all of us. It is possible. What was we see? There was who was that?
I don't know. I don't know. You're seeing so many mixed results of the long pit stops and the undercuts, and it requires a lot of, you're seeing with, it requires a kind of a bit of luck, and hopefully not getting binned, hit, overtaken behind traffic in too many battles, as Rahmat is now cleared Hignett. And Hignet's going to send it up the inside. He's made a bit of room there, made a bit of space.
What a defense.
So let's see what happens. Oh, there's a bit of rubbing. There's a couple of touches. Oh, are they going to rub again? Let's see. Oh, they're going to go. Oh, look at it. Oh, no. Oh.
Wow. I thought that was going to collision right there again.
I thought there was
he's in the grass for good measure. Managed to keep it around the outside. Oh, what's from there?
Has Rahmat missed the pit entry? Was he too late to go into the pit
I think
entry?
he was. Did he hit the wall? Was there contact?
I reckon we
What's
can get a
happened there?
replay of that soon, because I haven't seen that a lot. But all that kind of little bish bashing's done is allowed Weatherburn to again tuck onto the back of Hignett. So for these couple of your second, third, fourth placings, she's all for it.
Oh mate, the red mist has descended in that Honda. We were talking about him having his head out the window, absolutely banging the gears in the VTEC, but I think the red mist has absolutely descended in that car. Rahmat has now touched the panels inappropriately of Ben, Yoda. Here we go. So he got a little bit squirrely, and Ben's managed to keep it around the outside. It's fantastic defense from him. We see he darts across, and
he knew he was
had
going
to
to make it.
bail out. He just wasn't going to make it.
That's a good call.
Decision made
saves
way
himself,
too late.
An SG30, so great call there. But all of this that's going on, all this fighting, and Hamilton is creeping ever closer to his maiden victory here. And earlier on, I believe he was saying that he was in the camp of not liking Zandvoort, and I wonder if after this race that changes.
Nah, I don't reckon. Yeah,
You think he still won't like it?
tracks that you win at and you don't like, you still hate.
You would know nothing of that, would you, Connor?
I would know absolutely nothing about that.
Is this Kyle Lamy? Because Kyle
We don't
Lamy is
name
one of the best tracks in the world. Just great.
The
And
most
it's possible it's coming back to F1. They're going to make it into F1 grading.
The most
Fire.
overrated piece of tarmac on the planet. Absolutely dead. Dead.
Well, talking to Liam earlier on this week, he was actually of the opinion that he liked Zandvoort quite a lot prior to starting any practice, and then he did a few laps and changed his mind very, very quickly. Thought it was absolutely abysmal in the Aston. He thought it was a bit sluggish and didn't think he was going to get the pace out of it. And then seems like this morning he's woken up and just decided to use violence to the rest of the pack here, because he is just absolutely schooling a lot of them.
I reckon he's had 4 Monster Energies, he's loaded up on carbs, he's loaded up on chicken and pepper pasta, he's gone nom 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 nom, and he's got all the energy in the world, and he's just set the world ablaze. But no, it'll be good. It'll be good if he can hold it together, just have a nice, clean, consistent race, just nothing as that blue flag in front is absolutely trying to become a lawnmower. John Deere, you're calling. But no, it'll be good. It'll be good. So But it depends if, like, I know there's still 20 minutes left, and he is, 15, 16 seconds up from Yoda? So if and Rakhmat is there with 1.6 behind Yoda, so let's say Rakhmat's, 18 seconds behind. Does Rakhmat go ballistic and, like, absolutely send it for the last 20 minutes if he gets fresh air?
I mean, we've seen he's got the pace, the 34.3, and he's still got that purple holding that there, so no one else has managed to match or better that. But I guess the only thing here that I'm thinking that could possibly upset things for Hamilton is if, I mean, that pit stop looks a bit brutal, that pit entry. And if he doesn't have the time or the width to pull out of a fast entry like Rakhmat did, that could turn everything here on its head for him. So he has to be careful, and maybe just keeping in mind that he has such a big lead, so he can afford to not rush his pit stop, because that's the only thing I see going wrong here. Because other than that, I mean, the Aston is an incredibly stable platform. So
is it a car or a platform, Jam? Like, are we talking, like, is it a website platform? Like, is it like Facebook or like?
I mean, if I had to choose a platform for it, yeah, I'd probably go with like Bebo, you know, like dated, but you know, it does the job, kind of, you know, like that kind of. But yeah, I mean, I call it platform, chassis, car, you know. Oh, we even had MySpace as a suggestion here in the background. Glenn shouting up for MySpace. I mean, God, what MSN goes wild.
Bring them back. That
Oh, my age creeping up on me here.
MSN would be like the 2015 Bentley, you know, like
absolutely.
a relic of the past.
Yeah, no, that, as you were saying, that Aston's looking incredibly stable. And as you said, really, it's the pit stop that could do it. Whoa!
Oh.
Well, you see a battle here, Hignan and McAdams. McAdams has managed to get in front of Hignan, so I don't know whether Hignan had a moment or McAdams has just absolutely sent it on Ben. But as we mentioned, yeah, McAdams, he's the leader of those now that have completed the pit stop. He's been that dark horse that's just managed to just do his pit stops early, get some fresh air, not get caught up, and just put in some consistent bangers. And realistically, this could be provisional P2 on the table for him right now.
Yeah, wow, what a drive that would be. And I mean, it's something that he really want right now, especially coming off that win from Watkins. And keeping in mind it's only
we've got a replay.
6. Oh. Into turn
the
1.
Bentley's got him down the straight. Look at this. Pulls in, sends it into turn 1, right down the inside, and manages to hang it around the outside of the Porsche. But that Bentley's just got the grip. We'll see what happens here. Oh, it's very tight through there. That is a tough spot to make an overtake, and he's managed to make it stick.
That was respectful driving from both. Yeah, that was awesome.
Excellent.
Alright. Ben's still just chugging away here. We're waiting on it front there. We've got Foster, Squires, Giacomin, Weatherburn and Hamilton up in your top 6, still yet to make their spots. So we'll see where this shuffles the order around. We're checking with Keys here in P12 behind Smith and Taufik, but he is 10 seconds down the road. Was that 16 seconds down the road from Smith and them? So a lot of work there.
It'll be a great try from Keys if he makes it back into the top 10, which I dare say looks like he's very much on point on doing. So bit of a rough start for him for this race. Starting at the back of the grid, getting caught up. Lap 1 or lap 2 incident, straight into the pits. So he's done very well to that GTR back up towards the pointy end.
Definitely. Definitely really well done. Where does Squires come out out of curiosity for, does he come out ahead of Smith if he was to pit now? What is the time were they fighting at all on track, or was Squires mixing it up there with the pros for most of it?
Huh?
He was battling Taufik earlier, and Smith is right behind Taufik. So but then Taufik did have a moment with Rahmat there. So I'm wondering if he comes out ahead of Taufik, or maybe even ahead of Ignat, because he hasn't been fighting anyone at all. He's just been lapping in clean air.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be tough. No, I reckon he'll come out behind both Hignett and Taufik.
Okay, so he'd be riding the fight with Smith again for E1 and Silver.
He
That
might
would be a
even
good
come out
watch.
behind. He might even come out behind Smith. If I'm honest, just looking at the track map.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he will. I think he'll come out behind Smith as well, but I think it'll be very, very close. And I think with fresh tyres for him, it could possibly be a battle for the silver podium, in top space on the podium, that is.
Yeah, okay. We'll look forward to that. Can't wait to see it. And Jet Combs in pits again, so he's going to clear both as well as Weatherburn. So they're going to clear their stops now. Or the others circulate.
Be interesting to see where they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rahmat pitted last lap, and is, despite the clean air runnings of McAdam, he has ended up nearly 2 seconds up the road. As we see here, Carman with a stop-go 30, that will have to be for speeding in the pit lane. That is unlucky for him. That's going to shoot him right down the order, based on a little mistake there, no doubt, coming in pit.
That'll put Keys into the top 10. It'll put him in, solidify him in 10th. It'll be interesting to see where Hamilton pits out of the grand scheme of things.
I mean, right now he's got to be happy with where he's at. I mean, he is out there in clean air with the only car ahead of him being that of Lucas Keys. So, I mean, it's great track position right now. No blue flags to navigate for quite a while. I guess hopefully he's fueled up to make most of that. Because while he's doing this, these clean laps, the others are out there absolutely fighting away to get their positions and have to really earn them, while he's done all the fighting at T1 on lap 1. And then have just been cruising out there ever since.
He's done a fantastic job staying out in the lead. And looks like blue flags have been really quite good to the front runners this race from what we've seen on the stream. Clearly their intentions are made clear, getting out of the way and letting the leaders run through, so minimal time losses for the blue flags of split screen. My hat tips off to you guys. Well done.
Definitely.
Oops, we got another replay coming up.
So this is just a bit of a starting replay of what happened to Hill and Thurklini and why we've seen the 844 Porsche all the way down right off the go at lap 1. So as we no.
Super unfortunate, especially because Hill or Thurklini were not at fault for both of their deaths there. They were both passengers.
It looks like King's just gotten the mega jump of jumps, and while Hill kind of just didn't quite get off the line straight away. He tried to slot himself too, and he gone immediately just into the side of poor Toglini and then taken both of them out. So that's really unfortunate.
Yeah. We see McAdam here on the back of Weatherburn though, so this is another fight for McAdam to gain another position on what looks to be a fairly damaged Ford on that side panel there. I wonder if McAdam waits and is patient for the end of T1, if it is even possible. Will that Mustang be able to, keep that gap over the Bentley? Because I mean, it was easy pickings for the Bentley when it was against the Porsche, but now that it's up against another fairly decent straight line kind of prone vehicle, I mean, is it possible for the Bentley? And then on top of that, the brakes. The Mustang brakes are great, in my opinion, from my limited experience at Bathurst with it. But...
On off. Nah, nah. I think if he plays his patience and plays his cards, I don't think he's not going to catch Rackmat. I think Rackmat's got the ultimate pace over him. But if he plays his cards right and gets a good opportunity here on Weatherburn, I think he can get him. And then that'll solidify, by the looks, P3 for him. So
yeah, which would be a two-spot gain for him, which is pretty great at this track, especially against all the talent he's facing. Yeah.
As we see Weatherburn trying to weave to break the toe down the front straight, but McAdam just sitting there with him. He's got time. Like he's got what, 5-6 laps. So it's not a matter of now. It's just a matter of picking your spot, picking your moment, and then going for it. So, but we have. So what? Hamilton. How far ahead of Rackmat is he? He'd be quite a bit, like 20 seconds, 18 seconds. Something like 18 seconds.
Yeah, 18 seconds.
So, yeah, as long as he keeps it all smooth and consistent, he'll be having a good night, I reckon.
So do we reckon Rackmat didn't take tyres in his second pit stop there for them to have cleared this pack as much as he did in that pit stop? Because he was right in the thick of battling with these guys. Higgins in particular, but before making that mistake and then clearing and getting cleared off. So the fact that Mr. Hignett, I know he's had a couple of battles on track, is that far down behind. I dare say Rackmat potentially might not have taken tyres in that stop and is now using that free air in front of the rest of the gang here to try and get that pace down.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, he's only got 7 minutes to go, so, and he stretched out that pit stop fairly well. He did pull in. I mean, he kind of had to. It was a pretty intense fight. We've got a 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags on lap 31 for New Asan. Unfortunate there. Have to always yield to the drivers coming through and stay predictable. So I'm sure he'll learn for next time.
Yeah, it's just a matter of staying predictable. So definitely, when the pens start rolling for the blue flag stuff, normally most people do start kind of learning, kind of getting around the idea of like, oh well, if it's not going to inhibit my race, so it shouldn't inhibit those around me. As Higner's in yet another battle with Tafiq and Smith behind. He's just been in battles everywhere today. Like, he just can't get a clean run at anything, really.
No.
Fighting for his life for this entire hour.
It'd feel long. It'd feel long for him. It'd feel like 3 hours, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. He would be sweating up a storm.
Well, it looks maybe a move happening here.
Had to go defensive.
Be interesting to see what this Bentley does down the straight when there's... Oh, wow, okay, maybe lost that run that he might have had.
Oh, Ben's gone wide. Peak's gone wide. They hit the fan. It's perfect pickings for Smith here to use the Bentley speed.
Yeah. Smith got a great run. Is this the 3 wide we were wondering at the
They might go
start?
3 wide here. Oh, thought better of it. Tafik hanging it around the outside. Ben's going to keep it on the inside. There's a bit of bump and grind, and he's pushed Tafik off.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. He's definitely squeezed him. He's anyway. Smith is going through.
Miss out of that. Absolutely.
But now Benny's faced here by the teammate of McAdam and another Bentley, and I'm pretty sure Ben will be fed up of seeing a Bentley behind him because he knows what it's capable of on that straight there. So definitely going to have some encouragement for him to try and run away in this little final sector, so there's no chance of a T1 overtake, but Porsche's looking like a handful for him at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely was not the call for Ben. I don't think they picked the Porsche. As we see, Smith is going to run down the inside. It's going to give him the inside. If he can get along far enough, nah, he just pulls out. Honestly, that's safe racing. It's calm racing. He definitely has time. He definitely has opportunities to try and have another look at Ben.
It has to be this one here. This is the greatest opportunity for the Bentley right here. Is this run that it can get on the Porsche, especially if Ben's busy wrestling that thing.
Just look at it pull. Look at it pull. Look at it pull. Ben's gonna go. Oh, Ben's only going half defensive.
This is gonna end in tears.
Ben has left the door slightly open, and Smith's going, you know what, I'm going to take a sip of that. That's good racing.
You can't do. You can't be doing that. Anyway, more of that, please. As he gives him a little love tap on the way through, just to say, "Hey, honey, I'm here. Let's go." So I just want to point out as well that Keys is only 4 seconds off this battle. That's a drive. That's a drive and a half.
That's a fantastic drive. Oh, Smith is just—he's just got the lines. He's just whoa! As Ben goes wide, touches a bit of grass under the entry of the corner into the braking zone.
They're screaming.
Are screaming, and Smith's like, I'm here to lap up anything that you forget to put down.
Wow, the Bentley just looks so composed right now. Doesn't look phased at all. It's really smooth inputs from Smith.
So Squires has gone in for his final stop. Let's see where that puts him down in the grand scheme of things. Let's go round 2 of the Smith v Hignett battle down the straight. Hignett's tyres must be screaming. Just look at it pull even through the corner. So, how hard is he going to send it? Is he going to send it a little bit harder this time? There's a bit of bloody bouncing around from the ping and everything. Oh, here we go. He's going to go the outside. Oh, but Ben defends it well. We want you down the inside, Smith. Go down the inside. Come on.
Would he fake Ben out here? Would he position himself for the outside and then just before the braking zone dip back in? You know, get Ben in a false sense of security almost. Like he's settled with his P7, but he's really not. You know, I want to see some mind games here.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Ben only half defend the track again like he did the lap before. I thought we were going to see a proper defense from Ben, but he's managed to keep it in front as they go sideways. Is Smithy going to sniff the slight gap that's available there to him? He's going to think about it. The peak managed to sneak up the inside there, but he's going to be around the outside for the next corner. There you go, wheel to wheel, side by side, into the left-hander. Ben's just like, please keep fighting. I just want to stay in front. The leader is on the final lap. This is all for keep. As we see, Smith's going to go over the bump. He is going to keep that position. And he's stuck in it. Ben Hignett going wide into the chicane.
The tyres are gone. The tyres are gone.
Compromised himself
and
on the straight.
In the back there, Lucas Keys is just thinking, you guys can biff it out all you like. Please take each other out and I'll happily take those positions.
But let's see where Smith goes. Is he going to go down the inside? We're looking at the rear wing. I have no idea where he's going. He's gone to the outside.
Very wide.
Oh, he's gone super wide. Tafik might capitalise on this. Let's see. Keys is in the background like, what are these monkeys doing? I have no idea.
Yeah, wow, okay. This has ended up a lot closer. Right at the end, oh my god, oh! Wow.
Keys and Tafik just said, good day, how's it going? McAdam's gonna lunge down the... Oh, let's look. I tell you what, I reckon Hamilton is absolutely happy. He seems to be rounding the second last corner. He's gonna take...
An amazing drive.
He's going to take an amazing drive, good drive off the start, good line. Have a sip, mate. Have a good drink. You have absolutely earned your maiden victory. We'll have Rackmat in P2, and Weatherburn is holding off McAdam for the final spot on the podium. Let's see what the drive's like out of the final corner, and then you have Hignett, Smith, Tafik, and Keys all battling for the minor places in this top like 7 spots. So you're going to have Yoda is going to hold off McAdam for P3. McAdam in P4. Hignett is going to do it. He's going to hold off Smith, Tafik, and Keys for P5. Gentlemen.
Wow.
Absolute. That was actually a good race. For a track that is not known for overtaking, that was a incredible race.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I was skeptical coming into this, just knowing that it was a bit of a follow the leader style of track, but it didn't seem like that out there today. It looked like people were trying everything just because they knew how scarce opportunities were out there. So they were just taking every opportunity they seen, and made for some really good racing. And also the two-stop provided some strategy offsetting there, so we got to see some cars battle that we might not have seen battle usually earlier on. So that was really cool. Really enjoyed that one.
Absolute cinema. I loved that. That was fantastic racing. Masterclass from Hamilton. Just gave a bit of shove, got the jump, and just left them all for dead, and ran away with it, and left them all to fight amongst themselves for all the places behind him. And what a fight it was! Fantastic racing, and yeah, loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it was good racing all round. We'll get some results up for everyone in a second. So, fellas, driver of the day. I'm going to give it to my my prediction of who's going to win. I think Hamilton got the jump, got a good start, and played his cards well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hamilton, very deserving driver of the day today.
I will, assuming as you guys covered that off, I will give mine to Keys after getting absolutely destroyed. He didn't quit. He continued to circulate around the track there, and he got a very honourable P8 after all of that, after being 30 seconds effectively behind everyone. So it's really good. Always good to see people not just giving up and finishing the race they started, and just going out there and having fun. So I'll give it to him, just out of a spirit of good sportsmanship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
good shout.
we run through the results. So Hamilton takes his maiden win in P1 overall. Rackmat with the fastest lap in P2, and Weatherburn rounds out your pro podium there. McAdam in P4, Hignett in P5. In the silver class, Smith takes the win, followed by Squires in P2 and Palmer in P3. In the Pro-Am class, we have George in P1, Witchell in P2, and Pascal Armstrong in P3. And then followed by the AMs, we have Foster, Nur-Isan, and Symes, 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely epic racing all round. I'd like to thank Jam and Fluky for joining me in the comms box. I'd like to thank Glenn, Matt, and all the stewards and admins for putting on the league, and also everyone give your shout outs to Mole. Make sure you send him a message, or you just have him in your thoughts, wish him well, and I'd like to thank everyone for watching.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks all to everyone who makes it happen. The drivers, the volunteers in the background, Glenn and half his PC. Really appreciate that. It's awesome.
And I want to thank you boys for sharing the combox with me tonight. That was a great race, and glad we got to commentate on it. That was fantastic. So thanks to everyone, and yeah, have a good night.
Yeah, awesome. Same time next week.